Lineup for yesterday by Ogden Ash. A is for Alex, the great Alexander. More goose eggs he pitched than a popular gander. B is for Bresnahan, back of the plate. The Cubs were his love and McGraw his hate. C is for Cobb, who grew spikes not corn, and made all the basemen wish they weren't born. D is for Dean, the grammatical diz. When they asked who's the tops, said correctly I is. E is for Evers, his jaw in advance, never afraid to tinker with chance. F is for Fordham, and Frankie and Fish. I wish he were back with the Giants, I wish. G is for Gehrig, the pride of the stadium, his record pure gold, his courage pure radium. H is for Hornsby, when pitching to Raj, the pitcher would pitch, then the pitcher would dodge. I is for me, not a hard-hitting man, but an outstanding all-time, incurable fan. J is for Johnson, the big train in his prime, was so fast he could throw 3 strikes at a time. K is for Keeler, as fresh as green paint, the fastest and mostest to hit where they ain't. L is for LaHoy, whom Clevelanders love, Napoleon himself with glue in his glove. M is for Matty, who carried a charm in the form of an extra brain in his arm. N is for Newsom, Bobo's favorite kin. You ask how he's here, he talked himself in. O is for Ott, of the restless right foot. When he leaned on the pellet stay put. P is for Plank, the arm of the A's. When he tangled with Matty, games lasted for days. Q is for Don Quixote, Cornelius Mack. Neither Yankees nor years can halt his attack. R is for Ruth, to tell you the truth. There's no more to be said, just R is for Ruth. S is for Speaker, swift center field tender. When the ball saw him coming, it yelled, I surrender. T is for Terry, the giant from Memphis, whose 400 average you can't overemphasize. U would be Ubel if Carl wore a Cockney, but we say Hubble in baseball like football in Rockney. V is for Vance, the Dodgers' very own Dazzy. None of his rivals could throw as fast as he. W, Wagner, the bow-legged beauty, short, close to all traffic with Honus on duty. X is the first of 2 X's in Fox, who was right behind Ruth with his powerful socks. Y is for Young, the magnificent sigh. People battled against him, but I never knew why. Z is for Zenith, the summit of fame. These men are up there. These men are the game. Lineup for yesterday, Ogden Ash, January 1949, Sport Magazine.
You're in Braves country.
You're listening to Braves Country Radio with Mac Magee, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Braves Country. I'm Mac Magee. Join us for Pitch by Pitch, Play by Play, the classic call of Braves Country baseball. We're bringing you Atlanta Braves baseball all year long. Jump into our pregame show, Braves Country Today, just before first pitch. Stick around for the postgame show, Braves Country Tonight, where we will open up the phone lines and react to your calls or your comments all year long. That's Braves Country Radio, pitch by pitch, play by play, your home for the classic call of Braves Country baseball. You're listening to Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country baseball. Hey Braves Country, this is Mac Magee with Braves Country Radio. We are bringing you pitch by pitch, play by play of your Atlanta Braves all year long. Please like and subscribe today. It's free and it helps us bring you more of the game we all love. Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country baseball. Casey at the Bat by Ernest Lawrence Thayer. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score stood 4-2, but with 1 inning more to play. And when Cooney died at first, and Barrows did the same, a pall-like silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to the hope which springs eternal in the human breast. They thought, if only Casey could but get a whack at that, we'd put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did Jimmy Blake, and the former was a hoodoo, while the latter was a cake. So upon that stricken multitude grim, melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey getting to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single, to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted, and men saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy safe at second, and Flynn a hugging third. Then from 5,000 throats and more rose a lusty yell. It rumbled through the valley, it rattled in the dell. It pounded on the mountain and recoiled upon the flat, for Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing, and a smile lit Casey's face. And when responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. Then while the writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance flashed in Casey's eye, a sneer curled Casey's lip. And now the leather-covered sphere came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood a-watching it in a haughty grandeur there. Closed by the sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. "That ain't my style," said Casey. "Strike one," the umpire said. From the benches black with people, there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of a storm waves on a stern and distant shore. "Kill him! Kill the umpire!" shouted someone on the stand, and it's likely they'd have killed him had not Casey raised his hand. With the smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult, he bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the dun sphere flew. But Casey ignored it, and the umpire said, "Strike two!" "Fraud!" cried the maddened thousands, and echoed answered, "Fraud!" But one scornful look from Casey, and the audience was awed. They saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain. And they knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. The sneer is from Casey's lip. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball, and now he lets it go. And now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Oh, somewhere in the favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out. Casey at the Bat, Ernest Lawrence Thayer, published June 3rd, 1888. San Francisco Examiner. Hey Braves Country, I'm Mac Magee. Join us for Pitch by Pitch, Play by Play, the classic ball of Braves Country baseball. We're bringing you Atlanta Braves baseball all year long. Jump into our pregame show Braves country today just before first pitch. Stick around for the postgame show, Braves country tonight, where we will open up the phone lines and react to your calls or your comments all year long. That's Braves Country Radio, pitch by pitch, play by play, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball.
What's up, Braves Country? Looking forward to a great Atlanta Braves season. See y'all at the ballpark. Love you.
Lineup for Braves Country by DM McGee, 2024. A is for Aaron, the Hammer and Hank, the real home run king. Take that to the bank. B is for Bobby. Cox never cowered. He'd give Blue quite an earful on his way to the showers. C is for Chipper. Don't call him Larry. He would show up in Shea, the Mets he would bury. D is for David. Justice he'd bring. A Game 6 solo brought Atlanta their ring. E is for Eddie Matthews. 512 bombs away. Lit skies from Boston to Milwaukee to the A. F is for Fred. McGriff dog-biting crime. A fire was lit the day he arrived. G is for Glavine. Southpaw winds and kicks. Changing speeds east and west. A gem in Game 6. H is for Harry and his brother George Wright. The father of baseball, Boston pennants in flight. I is for inning, ending double play. Riley to Ozzie to Olsen all day. J is for Jones. Andrew let her fly, and his gloves in center is where singles would die. K is for strikeouts. A plenty from Strider. The quads in the stash, getting swings from that slider. L is for Lopez. Javi to B-Mac. Travis and Smurf, we've been lucky to see that. M is for Mad Dog. He won 355. Could swat flies with the changeup and still bust you inside. N is for Necro. He got to the hall by bending and knuckling and floating that ball. O is for Otis. Old Nixon could fly. The catch at the wall baffled our eyes. P still for Peterson. We were all rockin' pearls. With Eddie and Jorge, we were out of this world. Q is a quandary for why Dale is not in. Murphy MVPs again and again. R is for ranking. The top pitchers lore. Remember Kid Nichols, 107 WAR. S is for Smoltzy. The big three in the hall. When the game's on the line, you give John the ball. T is for Tyler. Matzik and the gift of 2021, the entire night shift. U is for Chavez, but we say Uncle Jesse. The frames, the release, kept the batters guessing. V is Van Weeren. Skip Carey 2. Don Ernie Joe, the tales from the booth. W is Warren. Spawn Johnny Sane. They'd ride him in Boston and then pray for rain. X is Mazzoni. Yeah, X marked the spot. Leo rocked next to Bobby, and his pitchers stayed hot. Why it makes us feel young. The game's main appeal. Chopping through the battery, there's no better feel. Z is for Zip Boom Bam, Ramalama Ding Dong. Throughout the summer, we sing that song. From AJ to eyeglasses and a hell of a pen. Mad Max, Uncle Charlie, win after win. A cannon from short, and RC you later. Acuna Matata, there is no one greater. Though you can't fit them all when you just A to Z. Think of your favorites in the rafters we see. I started with 3, then 10, 25, 47, 31, and of course 29. Let's not forget 21, 41, 35, the great 44, or 755, and old number 6, who led his great teams. The pennants were flying. It felt like a dream. From Boston to Milwaukee to Atlanta's TBS, a family, a tradition, Braves Country's the best. Lineup for Braves Country by DM McGee, 2024. Hey Braves Country, this is Mac Magee with Braves Country Radio. We are bringing you pitch by pitch, play by play of your Atlanta Braves all year long. Please like and subscribe today. It's free and it helps us bring you more of the game we all love. Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Hey Braves Country, I'm Mac Magee. Join us for pitch by pitch, play by play, the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. We're bringing you Atlanta Braves baseball all year long. Jump into our pregame show, Braves Country Today, just before first pitch. Stick around for the postgame show, Braves Country Tonight, where we will open up the phone lines and react to your calls or your comments all year long. That's Braves Country Radio, pitch by pitch, play by play, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Join the country club today. The first month is free. You'll have access to badges, one-of-a-kind emojis to display your Braves pride throughout the ball game. You'll also get instant access to our video drops, members-only chat, wallpapers, and more is on the way. Help support Braves Country Radio. Join the country club today.
You're in Braves country.
Good evening, Braves Country. I hope y'all are having a great Wednesday evening. And we do have news. Austin Riley hit off a tee today. He hit off a tee. Whoopity-doo! I want to see him on the damn field or put him on the IL. That's all I'm talking about at this point. Come on. What are we doing? What in the hell are we doing? We've got this guy who's obviously a little more hurt than they let on. As you're looking at the Atlanta Braves starting lineup tonight. And once again, Too Short is going to be over there at third. He had a couple of bad plays last night. He had a good play. I think all in all, considering all things considered, I think as far as Too Short is concerned, I really feel like he has done about as good as you can expect him to do. And so I am far from upset with Too Short. He is what he is at this point. He is a guy that can come in. He can hopefully play good defense, run the bases, but he's not supposed to be an everyday player. When they made the trade for him, he's not supposed to be an everyday player. He's supposed to be a guy that can come in and give a Riley or anyone else in the infield a day off. So when they leave themselves short like they did last night, and you seriously can point to that loss from the aspect of not having any depth on your roster. Because when we went to the top of the 10th inning and Marcell Ozuna, our designated hitter, who does a great job at designatingly hitting, is your ghost runner because he was the last out of the last inning. And you can't put anybody else there. You couldn't put Chadwick Tromp there because, what happens if the ball gets rattled off of Travis d'Arnaud again and he gets dizzy? You got to pull him. So you can't put him there. So you're for all intents and purposes, you're screwed. There was no one else to go to because Luke Williams had already been used. If you had anybody else up, you could have used them as the designated runner, the designated hitter, the ghost runner is what I'm trying to say. And you're talking about 9 guys would have to go to the plate. He would be the 10th that would have to arrive in extra innings. Very small chance that happens. And you would have done it because he would have been the run that could have, it would have ensured that a Baltimore chopper doesn't lose you the game. Now, that's not the only reason why they lost the game, but you were hamstringing yourself, and it continues, and you just wonder at some point, what in the world are we doing? What are we doing? But here we sit again, and we'll go out there with a depleted roster. And when your catchers don't have speed to begin with, you're not even thinking about putting them into pinch run. And most catchers don't have speed, but you can't even think about. So the only other thing they could have done in theory, they could have used like a Max Fried as a base runner. And then if it came back around, he would have to hit. That's the only other thing they could have done. I seriously would have thought about it, to be honest with you. I would have really thought about, hey, maybe not Max because he's pitching tonight, but maybe one of our other pitchers that has a little more speed than Marcell Ozuna. And Ozuna gets thrown out at third. I wasn't even mad at Marcell for that because it was the second out of the inning. There was going to be 2 outs anyways, and it was going to take a base hit and a good solid base hit, one that doesn't get to the outfielder quickly to score Marcell anyways. So he probably shouldn't have went on the run to third, but I kind of understand why he was doing it because he's not a very fast runner and he does know his damn limitations. But anyways, we move on from that. And what is this that I'm reading here? It had been a quarter century, 25 years since the Atlanta Braves had as many hitless at bats with runners in scoring position as they did Tuesday when they were 0 for 14. The last time was 0 for 15 in 1999 against San Francisco. That's a little surprising to me because until this recent run of Atlanta Braves offense that began essentially, we'll say 2019, 2020, the Atlanta Braves were constantly known for leaving runners in scoring position. Like my entire childhood was going, good night, Irene. What look at this again, losing games 2-1, 3-2 constantly. So it's a little surprising to me that it's that they had gone 25 years, but they're talking they're talking about not having 14 at bats that they didn't, but it was the fact that they didn't get one at all. Anyways, tonight we look at the lineup, and I'm trying to change everything. Whatever you're doing, change your juju now. I've got my hat on backwards, and it's my lucky hat. This is my playoff hat. This is my slump buster hat. I only break it out every once in a while when I'm just sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of the offense stinking. This is my Dale Murphy jersey. I only wear it when I'm trying to change things up. I got them both on tonight. The Braves are going to rock and roll tonight. We're going to get some runs. The wind is blowing out to right field tonight. It's a lefty on the mound. I'm going with my pick to click to be Marcell Ozuna. And I believe Mad Max is going to go out there and spin a gem. I think Max is going to go out there determined. I'll take the Braves to win this one. Our over under right now is 4.5 on runs. Let's say they go out there and they break the bank. Give me the Braves to win this one 6-3. 6-3. I do think the Cubs will get some runs. Justin Steele has not been the Justin Steele of last year when he finished in the top 3 of the Cy Young. He's coming off the injury. You're going to notice he's got a low whip, but he's got a higher ERA because the few innings he has thrown, he has given up the long ball. So give me Marcell to go yard. I'd love to say that Olsen goes yard and maybe even Acuna, but give me Marcell Ozuna, the National League MVP right now in my book, because I don't care what the other teams are doing. I know that if it wasn't for Marcell Ozuna, we'd be in deep water. All right, let's step aside for a second. It's time to do the lineups and all that jazz. We got first pitch on the way, pitch by pitch of your Atlanta Braves coming your way. Phillies and Rangers, by the way, are tied up at 2. We'll get you the out-of-town scoreboard when we come back. Let us know where you're at, Braves country. Say hi. We're doing roll call here in a second, and just let us know where you're listening to, where you're listening from or watching from, and we will be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
Like me, you can't smoke like me. So don't try and be like me. Let's party together.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
Baseball is a beautiful thing. It's more beautiful in an old park. It's asymmetrical and quirky. But even in a dome with artificial turf, it's beautiful. The way the field fans out, the choreography of the sport, the pace and rhythm of it, the fact that pace and rhythm allows for conversation and reflection and opinion and comparison.
In right field, the crowd is tormenting Strawberries, singing Darryl, Darryl. Little roller up along first, behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win. And there's a fly ball deep to left. It's on its way. There it goes, and the Yankees are going to the World Series. Aaron Boone.
Ground ball stabbed by Folk. He has it. He underhands to first for the first time in 86 years. The Red Sox have won baseball world championship. Can you believe it?
It's a pastime, something you do. It's entertainment, something you watch. And it's a shared experience, something you talk about and read about. But you can apply those same 3 criteria to other things. What makes baseball special is that it's the best game that's ever been devised.
Smith corks one into right, down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy.
Sure as God made green apples, someday the Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series.
A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it in front of Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series. Cubs win. What a lucky break. The good Lord wants the Cubs to win.
How can you not be romantic about baseball?
If baseball is about caring, about loyalty and rivalry,
Braves fans are on their feet hoping for some kind of a bleeder or a seeing-eye single. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball hit high and deep down the right field line. It's going back. Is it fair? Is it zip, boom, bam, it's gone. Ram-a-lam, ding dong, a 3-run shot, and your Atlanta Braves have taken a 1-1 lead. A hanger, and she's gone, baby.
There's a very peaceful thing. It was created and played in pastures and meadows. There's grass, there's outdoors, there's everything that people thought was American and feel about America. You get in a ballpark, and it's the wonder of walking through that dark tunnel and seeing a huge open space where men play the little boy's game.
I believe in the Church of Baseball. I've tried all the major religions and most of the minor ones. I know things. For instance, there are 108 beads in a Catholic rosary and there are 108 stitches in a baseball. I prefer metaphysics to theology. You see, there's no guilt in baseball, and it's never boring. It's a long season and you gotta trust it. I've tried them all, I really have. And the only church that truly feeds the soul day in, day out is the Church of Baseball.
Swung line drive left field. 1 run is in. Here comes Reed. Here's the throw to the plate. He is safe.
You're in Braves country. If there's a bigger thing going on right now, I don't know what it is. We're down to one strike here. Gurriel, the last hope for the Houston Astros. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, bounced over to Dansby. Dansby fires it over to Fuss, and here comes the dog pile. Fire the cannons in the battery. Do the chop all throughout Braves country. Pop that top. Your Atlanta Braves have won it all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose what stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Play ball.
Down a beer? 7 o'clock in the morning. Scotch?
Hey, howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? Pull up an armchair, girls and boys, and join us for Braves Country Baseball. You're listening live, and the scene is friendly confines of Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois, where we're set to bring you pitch by pitch, play by play of your Atlanta Braves. Hi, I'm Mac Magee. Here are your starting lineups for today's action. Leading off and playing right field for your Atlanta Braves, it's Ronald Acuna Jr. 3 home runs, 12 RBI, 15 stolen bases, batting .247. Ozzie Albies batting second, playing second. 3 homers, 21 RBI, a .268 average with 2 stolen bases. Marcell Ozuna is your designated hitter. He's batting .325 with 43 RBI and 14 home runs. Matt Olson, batting cleanup for your Atlanta Braves. Playing first with 6 homers, a .223 average, and 25 RBI. Travis d'Arnaud, batting fifth and behind home plate with 5 homers, 17 RBI, a .264 average. Orlando Arcia, batting sixth and playing short with 5 homers, 17 RBI, and a .247 average. Michael Harris II is batting 7th for your Atlanta Braves. He's got 5 home runs, 17 RBI, 7 stolen bases, a .250 average. Adam Duvall is in left field with 2 homers, a .203 average, and 8 RBI. And Zach Too Short is at third, batting 9th with a .150 average, 2 RBI, and a stolen base. Backing up Justin Steele in the bottom of the first inning, it'll be Nico Horner at second. 2 homers, 13 RBI, 5 stolen bases, batting .267. Seiya Suzuki is in right field with 4 homers, a .253 average, 1 stolen base, and 16 RBI. Cody Bellinger playing center with 7 home runs, 22 RBI, a .255 average. Christopher Morel is the designated hitter with a .213 average, 9 home runs, 33 RBI, 4 stolen bases. Patrick Wisdom is at first with 2 dingers, 7 home runs, 3 RBI, batting .275. Dansby Swanson is batting 6th and playing short with 4 home runs, a .218 average, 4 stolen bases, 12 RBI. Ian Happ is in left field with 2 home runs, 14 RBI, 1 stolen base, batting .207. Nick Madrigal will be at the Keystone Corner, manning third. He's got no home runs, but 10 RBI, a .221 average, and 1 stolen base. Miguel Amaya, once again, is behind home plate with a .188 average, 2 home runs, 12 RBI. On the mound for your Atlanta Braves, it's Max Fried night, 3-2 with a 3.81 ERA. He has a 1.19 whip, 49 2/3 innings pitched, 39 hits allowed, 39 strikeouts, 20 walks versus 4 home runs. He'll be going head-to-head with Justin Steele, who's 0-1 with a 5.21 ERA, a 1.21 whip, 19 innings pitched, 18 hits, 18 strikeouts versus 5 walks and 5 home runs served. Calling balls and strikes behind home plate tonight, it's Gabe Morales. First base umpire, Ryan Additon. Second base will be manned by Brian Knight, and down the third base line, it's Chris Scuccione. Atlanta Braves come in 27-18 on the year, 11-10 on the road. The Cubs are 27-22, 15-9 at home. Atlanta is minus 135 on the money line. The over-under is 8.5. Game time temperatures are expected to be in the low 70s with the wind blowing out at around 10 miles an hour towards right. Well, it's about that time. Grab you a cold one. Find you an armchair. It's Braves Cubs, game 2 of a 3-game set. Braves look to tie up the series and force a rubber match tomorrow behind Max Fried and your Atlanta Braves. Country Club, warm up those chop arms. We got the Max Fried emoji kicking. Braves Country, get your game face on.
Get this bus moving.
Stop.
Come back.
Late.
Roll call! Yeah! Roll call!
You're in Braves Country.
Welcome in Braves Country. Time for roll call. The Atlanta Braves are going to be wearing their all grays top to bottom. Atlanta across the chest, tomahawk underneath in red. Outlined in navy. Navy bald caps, white A on the front. And the Cubs are in their classic white pinstripes. And yes, sir! It is baseball time in Braves Country. The first pitch on the way to Ronald Acuna Jr. is swung on and fouled back out of play. It's 0-1. Justin Steele, the southpaw, 0-1 with a 5.21 ERA. The 0-1 pitch. Misses high and out of the zone, 1-1. So a 1-1 count. The pitch to Acuna, taken high for a strike, four-seam fastball, 1-2. Acuna didn't seem to like it, but I didn't see where that may have missed. It looked like it went right down Main Street, just below the letters. So a 1-2 to Acuna. The pitch from Steele, inside high, just misses. Better be careful with those calls. Those normally go to the pitcher. Your home plate umpire tonight is Gabe Morales. The 2-2. Swing and fouls it back out of play. We'll do it again. It's 2-2. Braves nothing, Cubs nothing. Just getting going here. Ronald Acuna Jr. comes set. Ozzie Albies stands on deck. Ozuna in the hole. The pitch in the dirt. Good take by Acuna. You can tell he wanted to go yard on that one. That one didn't even hit the plate. So a full count to Acuna. 3 home runs, 12 RBI, 705 OPS. The pitch from Steele. Swung on, chopped back up the middle. Kind of a slow dribbler. Horner's going to have to hurry. He's got it, 4-3 put out, and another easy out in the hands of Ronald Acuna Jr. Here comes Ozzie Albies. Ozzie Albies. He'll be hitting from the right side tonight to begin the game with the southpaw on the mound. First pitch to Ozzie is right there at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1, rocks and fire, swung on, high chopper. Horner's got that one. He flips it over to first. He'll get Ozzie by about a step or so. It was a high chopper, but a fast-moving chopper over the pitcher's head and into the glove of Steele. So quickly, 2 up, 2 down, not what you want, coming off of, once again, another quiet night with the bats. We had a couple home runs, but all in all, just not much going here with the lumber here with the Braves. First pitch on the way to Ozuna, swung on and lifted high, not very deep. Caught in dead center field by Bellinger, and that'll end the inning. A really quiet 3 up, 3 down from a southpaw that's been struggling. We'll be back in a flash.
We can't Ruby Dern your frazzle dazzle.
Cars from all over America come to find a new home in Florida, just like you. I moved here after the draft, football. I noticed there was one thing missing from this great town, a celebrity-endorsed used car shop. That's why I founded BJ's Used Autos. Every one of these beauties is freshly painted. They look brand new. We have new models coming in every morning, usually around 2 a.m. We can get you anything. And if you see a car of your dreams, tell us. We can acquire it for you. I've taken the skills I've learned as a pro football player to the used car business. Smash, grab, and run like hell. I'm tackling low prices with hot cars.
2 teams dominated the 90s, the Boston Beaneaters and the Baltimore Orioles. Boston, led by Billy Hamilton and Hugh Duffy, pioneered what would be called the inside game. But the Orioles perfected it. Sacrifice bunts, squeeze plays, double steals. They fought and struggled for every run. In an era of dirty baseball, the Orioles delighted in being the dirtiest. The Orioles were one of the greatest teams ever assembled. Dan Bruthers, the broad-shouldered first baseman, was the greatest power hitter of the 1880s, bettering 300 in 14 seasons. Wee Willie Keeler in right field was the game's preeminent place hitter. Asked for the secret of his success, he answered, "Keep your eye clear and hit them where they ain't." He once managed at least 1 hit in 44 consecutive games. The shortstop was Huey Jennings, known for his distinctive yell as "E-ya." In 1896, he hit .401, stole 70 bases, and set a record in his specialty, He managed to get hit by pitched balls 49 times. Between seasons, he practiced law.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way from Mr. Max Fried is a fastball right there at the top for a strike. It's 0-1. Lefty, lefty. The 0-1 pitch. Kicks and fires. Curveball, swing and a miss. He had that breaking ball bending off the table, dropping off. It's 0-2. So an 0-2 count as we're going to get the roll call rolling here again one more time. Got kind of sidetracked. The 0-2. Curveball in the dirt. We'll do it again. 1-2.
Get this bus moving.
Stop.
Come back.
Too late.
Roll call. Yeah. Roll call.
You're in Braves country.
The 1-2 from Max. He will rock and fire, swing, and that ball's dribbled over towards short. RC has got to charge it, fires it over to first, and it's a 6-3 put out, one away. Good evening to our country club members. We've got Red Rum in Birmingham, Edward Spry in Pembroke, Nathaniel pushing buttons. I'm assuming you were talking about the poem. I appreciate the kind words, pushing buttons. David. We've also got in Braves country, we've got Gary in South Carolina. John and JC. As the first pitch on the way from Fried to Suzuki is right there for a strike. It's 0-1. But double check and make sure I haven't missed anybody. I know these are funky starts. John, I'm not sure if I said John. The 0-1 right there for a strike. Curveball, it's 0-2. He's got that curveball working quite a bit tonight. And you'll notice we do have the Mad Max emojis working tonight. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So Mad Max gets his first strikeout, a swinging strikeout. We've got the K for the swinging strikeout. We got the backwards K for the looking. So 2 down. Max looks determined. He's got that kind of there's no other way to put it, that little pissed off look on his face. Lefty-lefty matchup. The first pitch on the way to Bellinger is a swing and a miss strike slider over the top. It's 0-1. Braves nothing, Cubs nothing. The 0-1. Fried lets her go. Curve ball, teardrop right there on the inner cut. 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Cody Bellinger coming back after testing the free agent market, batting .255 with an 809 OPS. The 0-2 kicks and fires. Try to get him to chase that sweeper off the edge. 1-2. You'll see Max throw any of 7 different pitches. 34% of the time this year he's gone to the 4-seam. It comes in around 94. The curve about 19% of the time at 74. And the sinker 17% of the time at 93. The 1-2 swung on, hit hard on the ground, a one-hopper, but backhanded by Ozzie. He'll flip it over to Olsen, and it's 3 up, 3 down. Let's grab the sticks and get some runs, Braves country. We will be back in a flash.
Okay, everybody, I'm on day 6. I'm walking from Virginia to Texas, and there I'm going to cross the Rio Grande and get to Mexico and give up my United States citizenship to break back into America so that I don't have to pay taxes and get free housing and free all kind of But listen, I got to start working on my Spanglish, amigo.
Well, I have a date, too.
Who is it? What's his name?
His name is not important. What's important is he's better than you in every conceivable way.
Well, damn, that could be anybody!
I'm a girl mom. Of course it feels like I'm in the mirror arguing with myself every day.
I'm the one she's talking about, and I get it from my mama.
I'm a girl mom. Of course she steals all my shampoo, my conditioner, my makeup, my shoes, my socks, and anything else that's hers that she decides she wants to claim.
We have to share. She be trying to be selfish.
I'm a girl mom. Of course she's my little broke best friend.
Of course I'm her broke best friend.
I'm a girl mom. Of course I hide in my car and eat snacks so she don't steal them. I'm a girl mom. Of course I can't like the friends that she doesn't like anymore.
If I don't like you, she can't like you.
I'm a girl mom. Of course there's other teenage girls here every weekend that also call me mom.
They call her mama because she's the best mama.
The famous Baltimore chop. They would intentionally hit down on the ball, hoping to get a large bounce, which would give the runner time to make it all the way to first base before the shortstop or second baseman could even field it. They would, opposing teams, to combat this, would flood the area in front of home plate so that when they hit down for the Baltimore chop, the ball would just stop there and the catcher would pick it up and throw the guy out at first. It was an entire set of strategies, tactics, and most importantly, attitudes, which I think that story reveals, that really defined baseball at the time.
Welcome back. First pitch on the way to Matt Olson is swung on and fouled straight back. It's 0-1. Matt Olson batting .223 on the year. 6 home runs, 25 RBI. The 0-1 to Olson. Right there for a strike, 93 on the inner cut. It's 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Olson with that .721 OPS. The 0-2 swung on, and that ball is hit lightly on the ground over to short. Swanson's got it, flips it over to first, and it's an easy 6-3 put out to start the second. All these guys went through slumps last year. The biggest difference this year and last year is that they didn't all go into slumps at the same time. So when you had one of the guys not hitting very well, it just didn't stand out to you because 3 or 4 other guys were on fire. First pitch on the way to Travis d'Arnaud is up top for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1, swing and a miss. Fastball up and in, it's 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Steele comes set, lets her go, 94-mile-an-hour fastball, fouled back, hits the screen behind home plate. Do it again. Pittsburgh and San Francisco are knotted up at nothing apiece in the bottom of the 4th. The 0-2 from Steele. Inside, 94-mile-an-hour fastball, 1-2. Steele with only 16 pitches thrown. Very quick first inning. The 1-2 from Steele. Lets her rip. Swung on, grounded over to third. Should be an easy play for Magical. He flips it over to first. 5-3 put out, 2 down. Two away, and that will bring up Orlando Arcia. Arcia, who hit his 5th home run last night, stands in. The first pitch up top, misses high. It's 1-0. One thing that I have seen from Gabe Morales, he does not tend to call the high strike. Much more likely to give you leeway at the bottom of the zone is the 1-0 pitch, misses high, 2-0. He's more of an east to west guy. So a 2-0 count. Pitch. That one grabs the top of the zone, top shelf outer corner, 2-1. Tampa Bay Rays lead the Boston Red Sox 3-0. That game is in the 4th. Yankees 2-0 over the Seattle Mariners in the 3rd in the Bronx. The 2-1 swing and a miss. Came out of his shoes on that one. 93 out wide. It's 2-2. Toronto Blue Jays 7, White Sox nothing. That game is in the 3rd. White Sox are bringing up a guy from AAA to see what stuck against the wall, and I guess he didn't turn out well. The 2-2 to Arcia, inside, ball 3. They had mentioned So his ERA in AAA was a high 5, but his whip was through the roof too, and I could not figure out why he was getting. But that just tells you where the White Sox are in their pitching staff. The 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, and that'll end the inning. When we come back, the middle of the order due up for the Chicago Cubs here at Wrigley.
This is the story of Hector Espino. He was considered by many to be one of the greatest hitters of all time. People who played with him said he hit line drives so hard that infielders would drop them. Despite having offers from the Cardinals, Angels, Yankees, Indians, and the Colt 45s, he never had a single big league plate appearance in his career. He batted at least .300 every year but one over his 24-year career. Once he arrived in the Mexican League, he earned Rookie of the Year honors with a .358 batting average, 23 home runs, 12 triples, and 103 RBIs. In 1964, he continued to improve, hitting .371 and setting a Mexican League single-season record with 46 home runs. The closest he ever came to the major leagues was when he played 32 games with the Jacksonville Suns, the Cardinals' AAA affiliate, in late 1964. In that short period, he hit .300 with 6 doubles, 15 RBIs, and 15 runs scored. He returned to the Mexican League in 1965. Over the next 5 seasons, all he did was continue to knock the cover off the ball, which can be validated by his 2 home run titles during that time. He remains the only player in Mexican Pacific League history with a career average over .300. He ended up slugging 484 home runs over his career, 24 seasons, 13 batting titles, 6 home run crowns, and 6 MVP awards.
Get a job? Yeah. Just get a job? Why don't I strap on my job helmet and squeeze down into a job cannon and fire off into job land where jobs grow on jobbies?
The most pugnacious Oriole of them all was the third baseman, John Joseph McGraw. McGraw was born in Truxton, New York, the first of 8 children of an Irish immigrant railroad worker and his wife. When diphtheria struck his village in 1884, one by one he watched as first his mother and then 4 of his brothers and sisters died. His father took out his grief and anger on his son, beating him so often and so mercilessly that at 12 he feared for his life and ran away from home. He supported himself at odd jobs until he won himself a place on the Olean, New York professional team at 16, and never again willingly took orders from any man.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. 0-0 your score. We head to the bottom of the second inning. It's a bit of a delay on the field. There was a random ball laying out there in the outfield, so Harris had to come in to grab it. So no one will be hit with the strike or a ball on that automatic pitch clock nonsense that we deal with nowadays. First pitch on the way to Morel is swung on and popped up high in the sky. Just into the shade goes Michael Harris II. The Hawk makes the catch, 1 away. For those of y'all listening on radio, the sun is just covering the very back end of the outfield, so it still could be an issue into the eyes of the outfielders, but it's off to the right side of the outfielders as they face home plate. Patrick Wisdom digs in. Number 5 hitter batting .275. The first pitch right there for a strike. 94 up top. It's 0-1. If you haven't done it already, please hit the like button. Please subscribe today. If you want to help out the YouTube channel, you can become a member today. Join the country club. The 0-1 pitch, 95 right down the pipe. It's 0-2. Patrick Wisdom, who is now relegated to a platoon role, a couple of years ago, he was a pretty hot commodity. Really was on a tear for about a 2-month period a couple of seasons ago. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Mad Max is dealing 2 away. We could very well end up with the pitcher's duel. If we get the Justin Steele of 2023 and Mad Max is pitching the way he's pitched the last several times out, we could be in for a pitcher's duel. Dansby Swanson will come to the plate. Swanson takes the first pitch, sinker down below the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. The wind is blowing out to right field here at Wrigley. Not as strong as it was last night. They've got it at around 11, 12 miles an hour. The 1-0 swung on, chopped foul down the line. Towards the third base dugout, it's 1-1. Last night, I saw a report after the game. there were times where it was blistering up near 30 miles an hour, whipping out to left field. So a 1-1 count. Fried about to throw his 18th pitch of the night. Fastball misses high, 2-1. Dansby Swanson off to a slow start. He'd been on the IL as well. Batting .218, 4 home runs, 12 RBI, and a .644 OPS. The 2-1 from Fried, right there at the knees. 95, just kisses the bottom of the kneecaps over the dish. It's 2-2. Braves nothing, Cubbies nothing. Pittsburgh Pirates just hit a grand slam. They're up 5-0 on San Francisco. The 2-2. Chop foul down the line. We'll do it again, 2-2. So deuce is wild here in the Windy City. Bottom of the second. A 2-2 count with 2 outs. Whatever the Pittsburgh Pirate mascot's name is, he or she was doing the gritty on the top of the dugout of the Pirates after that grand slam. Somebody's got to teach old Blooper that one. The 2-2. Slider down and in. Did he go around? He got him. Strike 3. Mad Max is dealing. Put those Mad Max emojis up, y'all. We'll be back in a flash.
All right, you got 2587.
Not for long. I make bad financial decisions.
Are you stressed out?
Yeah.
And you could use a vacation?
Yes.
Introducing planning a trip with friends.
What's that?
It's been a stressful few months, so what better way to relax than going on a fun trip with your group of friends?
That sounds like a great idea. How does it work?
It's simple. Come up with an itinerary, pitch the plan to your friends, watch them be sort of interested but non-committal, and the trip never happens.
Wait.
That's right, dork. Did you forget that all your friends have good jobs and relationships and you have neither? Of course they're too busy for your cabin weekend idea.
I used to think that my friends and I would be going on fun, extravagant trips as we got older, but instead I see them once every 5 months.
Try it today.
Look, dude, I feel guilty all the time for my thoughts and urges, but I'm not going to talk to a therapist who's going to make me, deal with it, confront those issues.
Fatigue makes cowards of us all. You can't play fatigued. Therefore, it's up to you to be in prime physical condition. You've got to keep yourself in prime physical condition because a fatigued player is a coward.
He batted .321 or better over 9 consecutive seasons and stole 436 bases. Although he was short and weighed barely 120 pounds, he tripped opposing runners on the base paths, blocked them, spiked them, and rarely complained when they did the same to him. We'd spit tobacco juice on a spike wound, he remembered, rub dirt in it, and get out there and play. Mayhem seemed to follow John McGraw wherever he went. When he got into a fist fight with the opposing third baseman in Boston in 1894, both benches emptied. Fans began brawling. Someone set the stands on fire, and the entire wooden ballpark and 170 neighborhood buildings went up in flames.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Atlanta Braves, Chicago Cubs, 0-0, top of the third here in Wrigley. On a great night for baseball here in Chicago. The first pitch on the way misses for a ball, 1-0, and that's followed up with an inside cut to Michael Harris, 2-0. So a 2-0, 92-mile-an-hour fastball taken down the pipe, 2-1. The 2-1 swung on and fouled back. It's 2-2. The 2-2 pitch swung on, and that ball is going to get down for a base hit. And your Atlanta Braves have their very first base runner of the night. A 2-2 hanging off speed that he just kind of slapped into center field. Looked like the sweeper. He calls his sweeper the curve, but they both act about the same way. So 1 on, nobody out. There is a Home plate umpire for a second, Gabe Morales. I believe that was just a warning to Steele to be engaged to the batter. I don't believe he gave him a ball the first pitch on the way to Duvall is swung on and fouled back out of play. It's 0-1. It's not one showing anywhere, so we'll assume with that. So the 0-1 pitch swung on, lifted high into center field, going back on the track. Zip, boom, bam, it's gone. Ramble-lamma, ding-dong, a 2-run shot to dead center, and Adam Duvall makes it 2-0. 423 over the Ivy, and away we go. Let's get it, Atlanta Braves. Looked like that was his four-seamer. Just hung up there letter high, and he smoked it. First pitch on the way to Zach Short is right down the pipe for a strike. It's 0-1. Too Short batting 150 on the year. The right-hander takes the 0-1 outside. It's 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Pitch on the way. Slider just misses outside, 2-1. San Diego, or should we call him Slam Diego, 7-1 over Cincinnati right now in the sixth. The 2-1 swing and fouls it straight back. It's 2-2. Figured the over was the play on that today. Nick Martinez was their starting pitcher in Cincinnati. The 2-2 swung on, slap back foul, will do it again. So a 2-2 count, nobody out, 2 across after the leadoff single by by Harris, and the 2-run shot by Duvall. The 2-2 caught, looking, strike 3. Curveball just grabbed the outer edge, 1 away. Might have been a touch outside, but it was a good frame by Amaya, and all in all, with 2 strikes, you can't let that one go. So 1 down, and that'll bring the top of the order to the plate. The wind is pushing out still towards right. Lefty-righty, the first pitch to Acuna is 92 up top, misses high, 1-0. Kansas City beat the Detroit Tigers earlier today, 8-3. St. Louis, 5-4 over Baltimore in Game 2 of that doubleheader. The 1-0. Swung on, banged on the ground towards third. It's going to be scooped up, and they'll get Acuna by about a step. 2 away. You know, that's the type of play right there that's driving the fans nuts, because you get it when he doesn't run out most of those ground balls. Is the first pitch to Ozzie is fouled back out of play. It's 0-1. But that is one you could make the argument if he was hustling down the line, he's probably safe. So the 0-1 count to Ozzie. Swing and a miss up top, 4-seam fastball. It's 0-2. And the only one that can do anything about it is Snicker. He's got to be the one that comes in and gets in his face about it. The 0-2, curveball in the dirt, 1-2. I've never made a big deal about it because I don't think he should go out there and risk blowing out his hamstring running out the routine ground balls. This is the 1-2 pitch, swung on, chopped over towards third. They're going to just turns into a long foul ball. Souvenir into the dugout. They'll probably toss it into the stands. But a 1-2 count. But when you get a ball over there at third and it's a slow developing ball, you've got to bust it. But the thing is, if you're being told is the 1-2 pitch swung on, that ball's going to get dropped into center field, and it's a 2-out single for your Atlanta Braves. Good piece of hitting by Ozzie Albies. Braves lead it 2-0. But if you're always being told to not run out balls like that, the one defense I'll make for Acuna, kind of hard to turn that on and off. You're either going to be a guy that hustles down the line or a guy that doesn't. First pitch on the way to Marcell Ozuna is inside for a ball. It's 0-1. The 0-1, or 1-0, excuse me. Swing and a miss, 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Ozuna 0 for 1. The fly out in the first. The pitch to Ozuna, down and in. The ball gets away. Well, Ozzy's going to stay at first. Probably too close to really take that chance. He might have been able to get down to second, but with Ozuna standing on at the plate, you kind of would hate to get thrown out. If you're standing on first, you're in scoring position. The 2-1 to Ozuna, swung on, chopped foul down towards back behind home plate. We'll do it again, 2-2. Mets lost to the Cleveland Guardians earlier today. They had a 3-0 lead, and then it all fell apart midway through the game. They are now 14 out. Washington's 13.5 out. They lost today. The 2-2 swung on and grounded foul down the line. We'll do it again. Miami is 19.5 out. Braves are 6 behind Philadelphia, but they do lead the wild card. So a 2-2 count. Lefty righty. Steele now about to throw his 50th pitch of the night. Swung on, grounded over towards Searcher, be an easy play. 5-4 put out will end the inning. But not for your Atlanta Braves. Put a couple on the board. Adam Duvall will be back in a flash.
Some girls belong to the streets. I, on the other hand, belong to the insane asylums. Like one of them, I don't know which one.
When people ask, are you doing anything tonight? On a work night. No, I already did a thing today. Work was the thing. There will be no more things, okay?
What's going on here, guys?
All right, Coach, so basically it was a holding call. But these dudes started me in their fantasy league, which is cool because this dude started our quarterback, but he started our kicker and I started their defense, so it's kind of a pickle.
Compromising the integrity of this game with your fantasy football leagues? Listen to me. If there was holding, you make that holding call. I don't care if it was on our team or not. I care about this game too much to let you...
Coach, you started their defense too, didn't you?
Yeah, you definitely started their defense.
Damn right I did.
Armchair.
You can't drink like me. You can't smoke like me. So don't try and be like me. Let's party together.
My grandfather was a sour old man, and I liked him. He lived with us. But he was out in the backyard throwing a ball when I was a little kid. He's smoking his pipe, and he said, you like baseball? And I said, yeah. He said, what do you play? I said, I'm a shortstop. And he said, that's what I used to play. And I said, you used to play? About a year or so later, I found the local paper did a 50-year anniversary thing, and there was a reprint of a game that he had played in 1892, and it said, Watts. His name was Fred Watts, shortstop, and he had 2 hits. And I thought my grandfather played baseball in 1892. So it's part of existence. It's part of our heritage.
You're listening to Braves Country Radio. Please like and subscribe today. YouTube.com/@BravesCountry. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way. Misses high, curveball to Ian Happ. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Lefty righty. Teardrop curveball, outer edge, 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Free comes set. The pitch. Swing, and that ball's hammered down the third base line, but foul. He was sitting dead red on that fastball, 1-2. Braves 2, Cubs nothing. Bottom of the third inning. If you're just joining us, Adam Duvall went yard, his third home run of the year with Michael Harris aboard. The 1-2 in the dirt, 2-2. So a 2-2 count. Sinker. Went around, strike 3. They checked down the first base side. Ryan Additon rang him up. 1 away. That's his 4th strikeout of the night. I'm not sure about that one. I have to see a side view of that. It did look like he might have went around. Just would like to. I never saw a side view on any of the casts. So 4 strikeouts in the first 7 outs, and the first pitch on the way to Madrigal is up high for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Curveball swung on, chopped back foul. It's 0-2. Max Fried at 28 pitches. Here with 1 out here in the third. The 0-2. Fried steps off the mound for a second. Sun's starting to set behind the right field wall. The 0-2 swung on. That ball's lifted into center field. Making the catch is Michael the Hawk Harris. He's right there. Didn't have to move much on that one to away. If you missed the game last night, he made a couple of great defensive plays. One running away from center field, slamming into the ivy, and another one running in on a dead sprint, a shoelaces catch. First pitch on the way from Max Fried to the number 9 hitter, Amaya, is a fastball right there on the outer edge. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Lefty righty. Changeup misses wide, 1-1. So a 1-1 count. You love to average around 15 pitches an inning for a starting pitcher. He's at just 31 with 2 outs here in the third. The 1-1. That changeup misses well wide of the plate, 2-1. Amaya batting 188 with a 551 OPS, 2 home runs, 12 RBI. The 2-1 pitch swung on, grounded hard over to short, right at Arcia. He's got it, and that's going to end the inning. 6-3 putout. We'll be back in a flash with Fat Elvis out there in the stands. Ain't seen that in a while.
I didn't know Sylvester Stallone was on his 3rd marriage. I guess his first one was Rocky, and his second one was Rocky 2.
Girls, what's just happened?
So, there's an ice cream van there selling just 2 ice creams with 2 chewing gums in it.
Yeah.
For bloody £9 for 2 of them.
£9 for 2?
Yeah, £9. That is going to get nowhere. The one that comes on my street is either £1 a p or £2. Like, you're going to get nowhere with that.
No, he ain't, is it?
No, he ain't.
That's well bad, isn't it?
Yeah, you should know. And he only does bloody card. Stood there with my cash. Bloody hell.
That's well bad, isn't it?
Bloody well bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, bet he can hear me.
Next time your wife asks you if the dishwasher is making a funny sound, tell her no. You sound just fine to me.
What's up, Braves country? Looking forward to a great Atlanta Braves season. See y'all at the ballpark. Love y'all.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch to Matt Olson, misses down and away for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0 from Steele, lefty, 91 up top, 1-1. Looked like the sinker on that one. Olson 0 for 1 with a ground out in the second. The 1-1 is sliced foul and out of play. It's 1-2. Wind still blowing out there to right field. The sun's starting to set here at Wrigley. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Strike 3, 1 away. I don't know what it is, but Olson just can't get going this year. You start seeing sparks, and you think maybe he's turned a corner, and then he just goes back to the same. First pitch on the way to Darnode is right there at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. The hope is that Austin Riley will be back by the weekend. Is the 0-1? Right there for a strike. It's 0-2. But the way they have played him with kid gloves, I don't understand why they have not. Is the 0-2 pitch in the dirt? Did that get Darnode? He goes to the ground. I guess it missed him. Darnode's slow to get up, but I think that's just because Darnode's an old catcher, not. Yeah, it missed him. It barely missed him, man. Everything he does looks clumsy, even like going down to the ground. So a 1-2 count. Lefty righty from Steele is 58th of the night. The pitch. Good take, curveball down and away, 2-2. Darnode grounded out in the second inning. He's batting .261 with a 5 home runs, 17 RBI, 828 OPS. But the majority of that damage happened on that wraparound weekend, about almost a month ago. The 2-2, swing and a miss, change up off the edge, strike 3. We hope Monday could be the reappearance of Sean Murphy. The game plan is for him to play another game tomorrow down at AAA and then DH on Friday. First pitch on the way to Orlando Arcia is off the plate wide for a ball. It's 1-0. Orlando 0 for 1, 5 home runs on the year. The pitch, slider, right there for a strike, 1-1. So a 1-1 count. The pitch, high and out of the zone, 2-1. The 2-1 to Arcia. He'll take a four-seam fastball for a strike right down the pipe. So a 2-2, lefty righty. Here's the pitch, down and in. Tried to get him to chase a slider down around his shoe tops. Good take by Orlando, 3-2. The payoff pitch from Steele. He went around strike 3. Orlando tried to hold up, but I think it was a strike no matter what. It was right there in the zone. Good pitch by Steele. We'll be back in a flash. Braves lead it 2-0, bottom of the 4th.
Who is the youngest player to appear in a Major League Baseball game? Look no further. This is the story of Joe Nuxhall. With many baseball players being called away to serve in World War II, the Reds, looking to fill out their roster, were interested in signing a 36-year-old semi-pro pitcher named Orville Nuxhall. The game they came to scout had Orville pitching for one team and his 14-year-old son pitching for another. Both of them would be offered tryouts, but only Joe would be able to attend. Joe would make enough of an impression during his tryout that he was offered an opportunity to travel with the team on their next trip to St. Louis. Although he he made the trip to St. Louis, he wouldn't be able to make the trip to Chicago due to school resuming in the near future. He would sign a contract with the Reds in 1944 that paid him $175 a month, signed on his behalf. On June 10, 1944, at the young age of 15, he made his major league debut playing mop-up duty with the Reds, trailing 13-0. 2/3 of an inning, 5 runs allowed on 2 hits, and 5 walks. The next out he would get wouldn't come for another 2,902 days, and wouldn't return to the majors until 1952. 14 years later, at the age of 37, he retired from baseball, with 135 wins and 2,300 innings under his belt, spanning over 16 seasons.
At the heart of this cultural phenomenon was Jackie Robinson, and in 1956 he would lead the Dodgers to the 6th pennant of his career. It would also be his last. With Robinson's retirement, Brooklyn was losing a hero, but after the next season they would lose something more. Roy Campanella would have his career tragically cut short in a car accident.
Cappy's accident stunned the whole team. When we found out he was actually paralyzed, we didn't say a word. We just couldn't speak.
Before they could get over the loss of their 2 great heroes, the borough of Brooklyn would lose their entire team as the Dodgers announced they were moving to Los Angeles for the 1958 season. For Brooklyn fans, the pain would be both immediate and long-lasting.
When it came out that we were moving to L.A., oh my God, they went up in arms. They couldn't believe it, could not believe it. It was like losing a loved one.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch from Fried is a curveball, top of the zone for a strike. It's 0-1. Max Fried, 33 pitches through 3 innings. That was his 34th. Nico Horner leads us off, the 0-1. Curveball just misses outside, 1-1. Top of the order due up for the Cubs. Horner, Suzuki, and Bellinger. The 1-1. Kicks and fires, swung on, chopped over to first. Olson's got it, flips it over to Fried covering the bag, and number 54 steps on the pillow, 1 away. If you're just joining us, all the action took place in the 3rd inning where Adam Duvall slammed a 423-foot bomb over the center field wall after Michael Harris II led off with a single, making it 2-0. Ozzie got on with a single shortly after that, after a ground out by Acuna as the first pitch on the way to Suzuki is right there at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. Those are the only 3 hits, the only runs so far. So the 0-1 pitch just misses outside, 1-1. Fried and Steele have both kept bases on balls off the bases as well. 1-1 count to Suzuki. Right-hander swing. Pops it back foul. Smacks it against the screen behind home plate. 1-2. The 1-2 from Fried. Max comes set, lets her go. Curveball, swing and a miss, strike 3. He got him with the bender down below the kneecaps, 2 away. Adios, muchacho. 5 strikeouts on the night for Max Fried. I'm telling you, he looks like that ticked off Max Fried that you love to see on the mound. When he's got that look like someone just did something to his cornflakes, he normally pitches pretty well. Cody Bellinger comes to the plate, lefty-lefty matchup. The first pitch on the way, chopped over towards first. Once again, Olson to Fried all day. It's a 3-1 put out, I should say. That'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. Harris, Duvall, and Short on the way.
Hey, I don't know who needs to hear this, but living your life to the fullest does not have to involve hiking.
I told my boss that 3 companies were after me, and I needed a raise. Which companies are after you, he said. I said, gas, electric, cable.
I'm 41 years old. I'm
42. So that means that I am older than the
Ma'am, I wrote you a citation for
You're writing me a ticket?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know who my father is?
Why, didn't your mother tell you?
Duke, Pee Wee, Hodges, we basically had all had our best years behind us by the time we moved to L.A.
For a team that had grown used to success, the '58 season was a rude shock as the Dodgers finished next to last, their worst record in 14 years. And as they began the 1959 season, the Dodgers were in need of some inspiration. They would receive it in an unlikely source, their former catcher Roy Campanella. On May 7th, the Dodgers held a tribute for Campy. It was an exhibition game against the Yankees to raise money for his medical bills. A record 93,000 people attended.
All of the lights will be turned out as Pee Reese wheels a chair that holds Roy Campanella. And tonight, on his last trip to the mound, the city of Los Angeles says hello to him.
They told everybody, we want each one of you to light one match. What a sight that was.
Lights at the Coliseum, perhaps the most beautiful and dramatic moment in the history of sports.
It meant a lot. It was something that, we got to do. We got to win for people in L.A. We came out here and they expected us to win, and we've got to show the fans that we're still a good ball club.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. How about it? Up 2-0. Let's go back to work. The first pitch on the way for Michael Harris II, who's 1 for 1. He takes it inside, high for a ball. It's 1-0. Lefty, the 1-0. Swing, pops it up, chase that one. He'll hit it deep into left field, fighting the wind, but Ian Happ's got it just before the warning track went away. It's about that time to start turning back time. We'll squeeze these in as the evening goes on. Got a few of them tonight. On this date, 1930, Babe Ruth ties a major league record, hitting 5 home runs in 2 games, doubleheader, and 6 in 3 games when he had a trio of round trippers in the second game of yesterday's doubleheader. First pitch on the way to Adam Duvall is swung on. That ball is hit high, but just got around it underneath it. He'll fly out to left field. Major league pop-up into lefty Ian Happ, 2 away. He had 3 home runs in the second game of the doubleheader the day before, 2 more in the opener of today's twin bill, adding 1 more in the nightcap. Teammate Lou Gehrig also goes deep 3 times. As the first pitch to too short is outside wide for a ball, it's 1-0. In the second game of the doubleheader, the Yankees winning 20-13 over the Philadelphia A's at Shibe Park. The 1-0 misses outside, 2-0. The 2-0 swing and fouls it back out of play. It's 2-1. All in all, Steele pitching pretty well. Counsell and the Cubs have to be pleased considering some of the outputs he's had after coming off the IL. The 2-1 swung on, lifted high, not very deep into right field. Coming underneath it, fighting the wind, making the catch is Suzuki, and that'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. That was a quick one for Steele. We'll be back in a flash, middle of the order, due up for the Cubs.
Stop saying we talked. That was a interview, and you didn't get the job. Hey, to whoever decided to only put 4 of them little muffins inside the Little Bites packages, you should count your days, and you definitely deserve jail time.
As the 1959 season got underway, the New York Yankees fully expected to win their 5th straight American League pennant. The Yankees were loaded with superstars and future Hall of Famers like 3-time MVP Yogi Berra, Mound whiz Whitey Ford, and Triple Crown winner Mickey Mantle.
Mantle hits a high fly ball. It's deep left center field. It's way out there. Boy, did he hit it.
In crucial crucial situations, the powerful and talent-laden Yankees were always able to break the hearts of the American League's top contenders. Going into 1959, the Chicago White Sox had a winning record for 8 consecutive seasons and had still failed to overtake New York.
It always seemed, and my father would tell me this all the time, and my uncles, it always seemed like the Sox would be within maybe 2 or 3 games. They'd have a big 4-game series. The Yankees would come into town in Old Comiskey Park. You could get 50,000 fans per game, and this would be at the big series against the Yankees, and then they lose 3 out of 4 to the Yanks, and they'd be done.
The frustration of getting beaten by the Yankees was hard for Chicago to deal with, but as far as losing was concerned, that was something the White Sox fans were used to. It had been 40 years since the Sox had last won the pennant, and that pennant was certainly not one to be proud of. In 1919, the American League champion White Sox lost a tainted World Series to the Cincinnati Reds, and that team would live in baseball infamy as the Black Sox.
We have guys who actually threw the World Series. They actually gave it away. If any team should have been cursed by the baseball gods, of course it should have been the Chicago White Sox.
Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Max Fried goes back to work. Lefty-righty, first pitch to Morrell is a fastball 4-seamer right down Main Street for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. San Diego leads Cincinnati 7-3 in the 8th. The pitch, curveball off the plate wide, 1-1. Boston exploded after down 3-0. They have scored 8. They're in the 6th, 8-3 over Tampa. And it is in the 6th, Yankees lead Seattle 4-0. Judge and Soto have both hit home runs. The 1-1 curveball, swing and a strike. He has got that curveball working tonight. It's 1-2. The 1-2 from Fried. Kicks and lets it go. That sinker's going to miss off the plate, evening up the count, 2-2. Texas trails Philadelphia 6-3. What's new? Real Muto with his 6th home run of the year for Philly. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Slider off the edge, 1 away. He has got those spinners working. That slider's got some bite to it. When you're expecting that slow dipping curveball and that slider comes dipping in about 12 miles an hour faster, along with that fastball coming up, that's a lot to deal with. First pitch on the way to Wisdom is a swung on high chopper coming in a short, fires it across the infield, and it's a 5-3 put out. 2 down. Good defensive play by 2 short. A running throw hit Olsen right on the money. Angels 2-1 over Houston. That's a final. Miami 1-0 over Milwaukee. That's a final. They had 8 hits in that game. That was an exciting one down in South Beach. St. Louis wins 5-4 over Baltimore. First pitch on the way to Dansby Swanson is a 4-seam fastball down and in. It's 1-0. That was the second part of an extended doubleheader. St. Louis won the earlier game that was suspended from the night before because of rain. The 1-0, curveball, grabs the outer edge for a strike. It's 1-1. So essentially, St. Louis sweeps the doubleheader today. The 1-1 curveball, swing and a miss, curveball over the top. It's 1-2. By the way, San Diego, Luis Arias hits his first home run of the year. Chapman from San Francisco, he's been on a tear. He's got his 7th home run tonight. The 1-2, down and away, 2-2. So a 2-2 count. Later on tonight, you got Colorado and Oakland. You got Arizona and LA. The Dodgers are sending Glasnow to the hill. The 2-2 from Fried. Curveball misses outside, ball 3. So a full count to Swanson. Nobody on, 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th inning. Max Fried, his 53rd pitch of the night. Here it comes. Swing, and that ball's chopped over to Ozzie. It's going to be a 4-3 put out, and that'll end the inning. You can see it on the scoreboard and put the math together. Max Fried's getting her done.
Tequila may not fix your life, but it's worth a shot.
I don't know who my people are, but cheers to those of us who can sing the wrong lyrics with confidence.
Meanwhile, can anybody tell me how did Brittany Garner's team finish last season?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, she was playing for Phoenix, right?
Yeah. They
How did they do? Were they selling out all the tickets?
No.
Is she going back to the Olympics to represent the United States?
I don't think so.
So then why the did we let her out of jail? Exactly. Why the was we in a rush to bring her back?
If your wife brags about sticking with you through the tough times, let her know that she should, since she caused them. After she backtalks, say, oh boy, here comes another one.
Chicago team hasn't won a pennant since 1919. How do you think Chicago will do this year?
Well, Cliff, we think that we have a fine chance of overcoming the Yankees.
You really think you can win a pennant this year if you get a few breaks here and there?
Yes.
Our skipper predicted that we're gonna win this year, and all the guys start thinking, hey, we can go ahead and go all the way. We can do things.
And as the season began, it seemed as if the White Sox optimism was well-founded, and the biggest reason for that was the spirited play of their best players, in particular, second baseman Nellie Fox.
Every winning team has a leader or a spark, and Fox lit the fuse for the Chicago club.
He was a little pepper potter, a left-hand hitter, almost never struck out.
Little Foxy has a double and 2 singles today.
I think Whitey Ford said it in 12 years, struck out Fox one time, and he thinks the umpire blew the call.
Welcome back to Braves Country. First pitch on the way to Ron Acuna Jr. is swung on, grounded over to short. Should be an easy play for Swanson. He charges the ball, fires it over to first, and 6-3 to start the top of the 6th. Acuna that time was actually hustling a little bit down the line. First pitch on the way to Ozzie Albies is swung on and fouled back out of play. It's 0-1. Anthopoulos might want to go ahead and get a contract extension with Max Fried done before the end of this game. This could really shoot his worth up. The 0-1, down and away, 1-1. The 1-1 from Steele, swung on, grounded over to Swanson. He'll flip it over to first. And another 6-3 put out, another out. 2 down here in the top of the 6th. Steele is only at 76 pitches, so Braves aren't really making him work that hard as well. Here comes Marcell Ozuna, looking to get on for the first time. Marcell stands in. 0 for 2 on the night. The first pitch. Slider down and in. 1-0. Once again, they call that a slider. It's really more of a curve or a slurve. It's a slow-moving slider, the 1-0. Swing and a miss. There goes that slurve again. It's 1-1. The 1-1 pitch in the dirt. Tried to go to the well 3 times in a row. That time the slider misses. It's now 2-1. So a 2-1 count. Pitch on the way. Right there. 4-seam fastball, 2-1. The 2-2. '81st pitch of the night for Steele. Sun just now starting to fade down below the walls of Wrigley Field. The 2-2 in the dirt, ball 3. So a 3-2 count. Two outs. The pitch. Down below the knees, ball 4. Thanks for hitting that like button. We'll get that sign off the screen. Marcelo Ozuna heads on down to first. We got something cooking here. One on. There are two out, but the wind blowing out there towards right field, and here comes Matt Olson. Olson, first pitch, 92 off the edge. It's 1-0. Keep meaning to look at it. Amaya's frame rankings compared to other catchers has got to be low. I see him just kind of nonchalantly flip the glove out there if he thinks the ball's out of the zone. The 1-0, swung on, swatted back foul, it's 1-1. That's all fine and dandy if the guy's bringing the lumber, but he's batting 188 on the year. And his OPS is down below 600. The 1-1 pitch swung on, chopped over through the infield, and that's going to get down for a base hit. That was, I didn't mean to hit that one. That wasn't sarcastic. Meant to hit the tomahawk chop one, not the clapping. Matt Olson squeezes one between the 5-6 hole. The Braves got runners on first and second, 2 outs. Maya's going to go out there and talk to Steele. If nothing else, give him a breather. As he does that, here comes the pitching coach, Tom Hotovy. Go back and turn back time while they're doing that. On this date, 1952, Joe Nuxall, best known for signing with the Cincinnati Reds in 1944 after obtaining his parents' and high school principal's permission as the youngest player to ever play Major League Baseball at 15 years old. He makes his return, his debut 7 years later with the Reds in 1952. After pitching 2/3 of an inning in his Major League debut at 15 years old, the Southpaw gives up just one hit in his final 3 frames in a loss to Brooklyn. First pitch on the way to d'Arnaud is swung on. He swats it hard, but right at Happ in left field. He'll make the catch, and that'll end the inning. Braves put a couple on. We'll be back in a flash, leading 2-0. Mad Max dealing.
Y'all, my therapist asked me what the number one thing is that inspires me to get out of bed every day, and I said it's my bladder.
I worked 10 hours! All I want is brain stuff! That's a little excessive. CEO of Pregame. I'm starving! What did you eat today? I ate nothing! Nothing!
Could you see where the coach would be upset if the star player is coming in at 2 in the morning and is hungover?
Without question.
You were quoted as saying, there's only one difference between Otto and me. He likes candy bars and milkshakes. I like women and scotch.
Well, probably wasn't a good thing to say to your head coach.
Armchair.
I can do whatever you want. You just tell me what you want and I'll be that for you.
You're dumb.
I could be that.
You won't let me draft the players I want to play. It's fantasy football, so the Hulk should be able to be on the team.
If you can buy $30K for a car, you can pay $30K for me.
I beg your finest pardon. You said that I should pay $30K for you when the only place you're going to drive me is crazy? Absolutely not. This not even delusional. That's dementia because you done lost your damn mind.
You think about it. What is there in your life, besides your love of family maybe, that carries all the way through from almost your earliest recollections till the day you die, and you care about it in one way or another? There are very, very few things that make that list. We come to things at various times in our lives, when we can comprehend them, when we have an interest in them. But we have a child's interest in baseball, in my case from the time I was 5. I can't imagine never having an interest in baseball. So it will be one of the few things in my life that I have cared about in one way or another all the way through.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way from Max Fried to Ian Happ, the number 7 hitter in the lineup. Takes 93 miles an hour. Fastball on the outer edge. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Curveball misses outside. 1-1. So a 1-1 count to Happ. There was a dude out in the bleachers. Chicago's got about a dozen of those beer cups. The 1-1 pitch swung on, and that ball's going to get down for a base hit in towards the gap. Harris cuts it off, flips it over to second, but it's going to be a leadoff double, the first base hit, and the first base runner for the Chicago Cubs. Breaking up Max Fried's perfect game. You hate to see it. Good piece of hitting by Happ. So 1 on and nobody out, and Max is going to have to just mentally check back in there and go back to work. Still leading 2-0. The first pitch on the way is a curveball, nasty teardrop right there at the knees. It's 0-1. You almost wonder sometimes, it's almost a relief to a pitcher to get that off him when you're in a close game like this. You can focus on winning the game and not the historical outing. The 0-1. Fastball misses high and wide. 1-1. Braves 2, Cubs nothing. Madrigal, number 8 hitter, number 9 hitter on deck, Amaya, and then the top of the order with Horner and Suzuki. The 1-1 from Fried. Slider misses high. 2-1. The 2-1. Fried comes set. Kicks and fires. Swung on and fisted over towards third. Third short has it. Flips it over to first. Good defensive play by Zach Short. And it keeps the runner at bay at second, 1 down. Big play. Good job by Max Fried. This goes unnoticed. But if you're watching at home, Max Fried, when Short goes over to make the play, he heads towards third to make sure that the runner doesn't try to scamper over there during the throw. So that'll bring Suzuki back to the plate. Amaya. I was getting ahead of myself. Takes the first pitch right there at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. Their batting stance is very similar. The 0-1. Lefty-righty. Kicks and lets it go way high out of the zone. Goes to the backstop, and all is for naught. After all that, a wild pitch is going to send Ian Happ down to third. Head first slide. Good relay from Travis d'Arnaud. He got the carom perfectly, come right back to him on a quick 2-hopper, and he fired it down to third and hits Short on the money, but no real chance of getting him there. So now the infield will be drawn in. The 1-1 to Amaya. Curveball swung on and chopped foul down the third baseline. It's 1-2. So a 1-2 count. Lefty, righty. The pitch on the way from Fried. Down below the knees. Good take by Amaya, 2-2. Braves 2, Cubs nothing. Runner on third, 1 out. The infield has actually moved back now. The 2-2. Inside four-seam fastball. Full count. It's interesting, after that second pitch, they moved the infield. The infield was about halfway. Now they've moved back. So they're willing to concede the run, which is not normal in today's baseball. Today's baseball, more and more you see, and I don't agree with it. I'm glad to see them play back. As the 3-2 pitch, curveball chopped over towards short. He's got it, flips it over to first, and it's a 5-3 out number 2. On the play, Happ will score. You hate giving up that run, but at the same token, now on that play, short would have been perfectly set and we would have saved the run, but hindsight's 20/20 on that. I just hate the idea of drawing in the infield in the 6th inning, and then all of a sudden you've opened up the floodgates to crooked numbers. First pitch on the way to Horner is sawed off foul down the line. It's 0-1. And especially as well as Max has been pitching, I'm willing to lean on that, take that 1-run lead if we can get out of this inning and go back to work, try to get him some insurance. The 0-1, swing, and fouls it out of play. It's 0-2. So he's bringing it now 95 miles an hour on that fastball. Max normally sits up around 94, 93. A little bit extra mustard on that delivery. Small delay as a beach ball gets into the outfield. So an 0-2 count. Fried comes set. Lifts the glove. Lets her fly. Swung on and fouled back down the line 0-2. He really, but 97 miles an hour. Max rarely hits the high 90s like that. He's got a little extra oomph trying to get out of this inning. He's about to throw just his 70th pitch of the night, so he's pretty well rested. The 0-2 from Fried. Here's the pitch. Curveball misses outside, 1-2. So a 1-2 count. Fried looks into Darno. Darno sets up inside the pitch. Down below the knees, four-seam misses. 2-2. Braves have scored a run. It's 8-4 now in the 7th in Tampa versus the Red Sox. The 2-2 from Max. Swing, and just got a piece of that. Stay alive. He was that nasty curveball. They put slider on the screen, but that was definitely the hard curve. Pittsburgh leads San Francisco 5-3 in the 8th. Philly all over Texas 10-4. We're not gaining any ground there. So the 2-2 from Max. He lets her go, swung on and lifted high into right field, going back on the track. Making the catch is Ronald Acuna Jr., and that'll end the inning. Cubs do get on the board, but the Braves lead it 2-1. We'll be back in a flash.
Y'all, I'm sorry, but you cannot be a fully grown adult blaming your actions on the zodiac sign.
Today, my son asked, "Can I have a bookmark?" I burst into tears. 11 years old, and he still doesn't know my name is Logan.
I'm just not going to have a man's baby just to have a man's baby.
Well, this is a nice change of generational pace.
If a man wants me to have his baby, I have 2 requirements.
As long as one of those requirements is you both actually like each other.
You're going to get a tattoo of my face on your body because it's a body for a body. My body's going to change forever. Your body's going to change forever.
And the slippery slope begins.
And my push present is either a car or a house, preferably both.
Push present? Like a gift for giving birth? Because you already got that. It's called a baby. You're going to have to find a way to crank that infant up and drive.
And Fox's partner on the infield, shortstop Louis Aparicio, was turning heads with his spectacular play.
This is the truth. Once in a while, I'm playing center field and I should be doing something, but I'd stand there in awe of a play that Louis made.
Aparicio teamed with Fox to become the league's best double play combination. And as the team's leadoff hitter, little Louis also ignited the offense with his quick bat and quick feet.
Louis, you do many things well, but I think a lot of the folks come out to see you get the jump on the pitcher and get those stolen bases.
He stole 56 bases, which was a groundbreaking number in Major League Baseball. He really brought the stolen base back into the game. Aparicio set the tone for, hey, this is what a leadoff hitter should be.
Together, Aparicio and Fox perfected the art of small ball.
Louis getting a single, somehow got the second. Nelly got a ground ball to get him a third, and I'd hit a fly ball. That's how we scored a lot of runs.
Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Justin Steele will go back out there for the 7th inning. One misses the first pitch for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0 right there for a strike at the knees of Orlando Arcia, who leads us off, evens up the count at 1-1. So the 1-1 count swatted down the left field line. Is it fair? It is fair. It is up against the wall into the ivy, and here comes Orlando Arcia. He's turning, burning, churning for second, and it's a leadoff double for your Atlanta Braves. Just stayed fair, just missed a home run. He swatted that thing. Thought that might have had a chance to get out. Smokes it up against the... That's a home run in Atlanta with the short wall there in front of the bullpen. First pitch on the way to the left-hander Harris. Lefty-lefty matchup is swatted foul back out of play. It's 0-1. The 0-1 kicks and fires, swung on, come backer to the mound. Arcia is going to run over to third. Justin Steele thought about going over there, but he played it smart and went to first base. It'll be a 1-3 put out, one down, but Arcia now 90 feet away getting that run back. That would be a huge, huge if you could get that extra run back the way Max is pitching, you got a well-rested Iglesias. First pitch on the way to Duvall. That's going to hit him. We'll put runners on the corners with one out. Zach Short come to the plate. You really hate that because Duvall, who's already hit a home run against Steele once, is the best candidate to get a fly ball to the outfield. In fact, he's even kind of given a wry grin to Goodwin, our first base coach. Thankfully, it was an off-speed pitch, but even still, you would have liked to have had him up there at the plate. Short's going to be hard to double up with his speed, so that is the plus. On this date, in 1968 at Wrigley Field, as we turn back time again, Pirates slugger Willie Stargell hits 3 home runs and barely misses a fourth in a 13-6 win over the Cubs. Pops also hits a single and a double that bounced off the left field wall back into the playing field. That was in 1968. First pitch on the way to short is a bunt, and here comes the runner, and we got a squeeze play. Holy cow! And Short's going to be safe. The throw came home. Wisdom's only real shot was to barehand it and to throw it home, and we got a little small ball working here for your Atlanta Braves. How about that? First person I think of when I see that is the great Whitey Herzog that we just lost a few weeks ago. That was It was a safety squeeze, but Arcia knew that it was on. You don't get that very often. A great job by Short, and now that'll do it. They're going to go get the hook. Steal is done. The Braves lead 3-1. We still got 2 on and just 1 out. We'll be back in a flash.
Hate your job? Do it the rest of your life. Be a man.
I got fired from the bank today. A woman asked me to check her balance, so I pushed her.
When people talk about DiMaggio, they're usually talking about Joe. But I'm here to tell you that his brother Dom was one hell of a player too. His career only lasted 11 seasons in part because he missed 3 years due to military service, but in 7 of those seasons, he managed to make the All-Star team. During his 10 full seasons, he ranked first in hits, second in runs scored, and third in doubles when compared to all major leaguers during that time period. He led American League center fielders in assists 3 times and putouts and double plays twice. He tied a league record by recording 400 putouts 4 times, and his 503 putouts and 526 total chances in 1948 stood as an American League record for nearly 30 years. He was an effective leadoff hitter, never striking out more than 68 times in a season. He led the American League twice in runs scored, once in triples, and once in stolen bases. He is one of only 3 players to average more than 100 runs throughout his career. He batted 300 or better 4 times, and just missed hitting 300 over his career. He batted safely in 34 straight games in 1949, a Red Sox record.
LA manager Walter Alston had a daunting challenge when it came to the 59 Dodgers. He wanted to recapture their place at the top of the National League, but the team was at a crossroads, and it was his job to show them the way.
He was charged with sort of rebuilding the Dodgers when some of their great players were winding down and the new wave of youngsters was coming up.
In many ways, Alston was ideally suited for the job in 59.
Walter Alston was quiet. He was patient. He knew baseball probably as well as anybody. But the thing about him, I believe, was that he could bring the ball club together.
He didn't say a whole lot. He didn't give many speeches. But when he did say something, you would listen.
Thought he was a fair man, very strong man. Didn't want to mess with him.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way to Ronald Acuna Jr. is swung on and fouled back out of play. It's 0-1. Acuna 0 for 3. Facing Jose Cuas, who is 6.17 ERA in 11 innings so far this year. The 0-1 inside 1-1. Braves lead at 3-1 with a runner on first and second, 1 out if you're just joining us. Just had a squeeze play by Short to bring home Arcia from third. The 1-1 outside wide, 2-1. Good take by Acuna. You'd love to get at least one more run. The 2-1 pitch with Ozzie standing on deck. They set up inside. Almost gets him. Ball 3-1. You know, you don't say this often, but the way he's swinging the bat, I kind of wish he would have just stuck his leg out there. So a 3-1 count. First and second, 1 down the pitch. Inside ball 4. Nowhere near the zone realistically on any of those missed strikes. And the bases are loaded. 1 out. And Ozzie Albies is coming to the plate. The Wiz steps in. The first pitch on the way, swing and a miss at the sinker. It's 0-1. You do have speed all around the base paths, ducks all over the pond. The 0-1 pitch, swung on, pops it up. Will that stay in play? Bends out of play. It's 0-2. Ozzie is your runner from home. Acuna's at first. Zach Short, who can fly, is at second. And Adam Duvall is at third. You'd love to at least get a fly ball to get Duvall home. The 0-2 to Ozzie. Outside wide. That sweeper was nowhere near the zone. That landed in the right-hander's pitcher's box. Right-hander hitter's box, excuse me. The 1-2 to Ozzie. Swing, and that ball's hammered down the right field line, but foul. Plenty foul. 1-2. Ozzie Albies 1 for 3 with a single earlier. Pitcher comes set, swung on, pops it up, high into left field. Drifting back, making the catch is Happ. He'll fire it towards home, and here comes Duvall, and he is safe. And Adam Duvall comes around and scores after getting hit by the pitch. Great job by the Braves. Great job by Ozzie getting that ball just deep enough. I noticed Happ when he was camping underneath that ball to throw it home. He didn't do a great job. Now, I don't know if the wind had anything to do with it, but he didn't do a great job of getting his momentum heading towards the plate. He was kind of drifting back when he made the catch, so he didn't have a lot of zip on the ball. That'll bring Ozuna to the plate. Runners on first and second, 2 out. The first pitch swung on, pops it up. Will it stay in play? It will not. 0-1. So you got speed on the paths again. Anything that gets down the gap would clear the bases. Acuna on first, Short on second. You'd almost be tempted to do a double steal here, but with Ozuna at the plate, the Braves' best hitter all year long, I doubt they do it. The 0-1, right there at the knees. 0-2, sinker. Marcell Ozuna hitting .400 with the runners in scoring position. 6 home runs. The 0-2 pitch, high and out of the zone. Trying to chase that four-seam fastball up around the eyeballs. It's 1-2. Braves 4, Cubs 1. The 1-2 from JC. The pitch, swing, and that ball's chopped foul in front of home plate. We'll do it again. I know he's swinging for the downs, but I'd love to see any kind of broken bat single, anything to get home that extra run. Really gives you some breathing room. The 1-2 pitch to Marcell. Swung on and hammered down the third base line, but foul. That just missed going extra bases. That would have scored Acuna as well. So a 1-2 count. I'll tell you what, I still love the old school look of that Cubs scoreboard behind center field. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and hammers that sinker. Foul down the third base line again. We'll do it again. So a 1-2 count. Righty. 17th pitch of the outing for Quas. Pitch, swing, fouls it straight back, sweeper. Just mistiming that one up 1-2. Pittsburgh now leads 5-4 over San Francisco. That game is in the 8th. Giants have clawed back in that one. Boston still leads 8-4. The 1-2 swung on and belted high and deep. Going back on the track. Will the stadium hold it? It will not. Zip, boom, bam, it's gone. Rama-lama, ding-dong, a 3-run shot. Let it rain. 7. Chicago Cubs 1. 394 happy feet into the bleacher bums. Marcell Ozuna, his 15th home run of the year, the Big Zoo. He knew it was gone. That ball landed, we'll say, 15 rows back. I think it might have been a little further than what they projected it. But anyway, you slice it. The Braves lead at 7-1. Great to see these bats wake up. Here's the first pitch to Matt Olson, swing and a miss strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 to Matt. Swung on and lifted foul down the Left field line, it's 0-2. Olsen 1 for 2 with a single in the 6th. The 0-2 pitch misses high and out of the zone, 1-2. So a 1-2 count. Olsen with 6 home runs on the year. The 1-2 pitch swung on, and that ball is smoked. Good night, Irene. That ball was hammered into the right field bleachers in your Atlanta Braves. His 7th home run of the year. Holy Toledo. 8-1 Atlanta. A mighty smack over the track. That ball just got too much of the plate, and then it just got too much of the seats in right field. If you're out on Waveland, duck, there's balls coming your way. Eight to 1 Atlanta, top of the 7th inning. How about it? Braves 8, Cubs 1. And go out there and have a quick powwow with JC. Now he'll face the retirement plan TDA. Travis d'Arnaud digs in. Righty. First pitch on the way, swung on and fouled back out of play. 92-mile-an-hour sinker. It's 0-1. Travis 0 for 3, a ground out, a strikeout, a line out. Batting .257. Swing and a miss, sweeper down and away. It's 0-2. So an 0-2 count. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. But not for your Atlanta Braves. Take an 8-1 lead, put 5 on the board, and the ball flying out of the building. Along with a squeeze play. We'll be back in a flash. Get up and stretch, Braves country. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch to Suzuki. Misses for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Sinker. Right there for a strike on the edge. It's 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Pitch on the way. Suzuki lifts it high into center field. Coming in, making the catches. Michael the Hawk Harris. One away. One down. Max Fried, by the way, just at 76 pitches. This would be enormous if he could even come close to a complete game. Braves do not have another off day until June 3rd. First pitch on the way to Bellinger is a cutter off the edge for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Swing and a miss over the top. It's 0-2. The 0-2 from Max. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Got him with the curveball chasing. Bellinger's down 2 away. Good pitch. Max Fried had a perfect game till just a little while ago. 80th pitch on the way is a curveball off the edge. Misses outside. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Inside, did he go around? He did. First base umpire Ryan Adderton has been ringing them up quite a bit down there tonight. 1-1. The 1-1. Swung on, chopped over to third. Short's got it. Flips it over to first. 5-3 put out, and that'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. Arcia, Harris, Duvall coming to the plate.
Is Google a man or a woman?
A woman. Because it never lets you finish a sentence without making a suggestion.
Have you ever looked at Brooks Robinson's helmet and thought, what is wrong with it? In the early 1970s, the commissioner's office made it mandatory to wear a batting helmet if you were entering the league. Robinson was originally for the helmet, since he had been beamed in the head several times over his career. When he got the new helmet and put it on, he noticed that the bill was a little longer than a normal helmet. Because of this, he could see the brim and part of the flap when he went up to hit, which caused him to lose concentration at the plate. So he did what any rational player would do. He took a hacksaw and cut it off about 1.5 inches off the brim and about a 1/2 inch off the flap. The result is something that looks like it came straight out of the movie Easy Rider.
Under Austin's guidance, young flamethrower Sandy Koufax and Don Drysdale started pitching with more poise, while aging icons Duke Snider and Gil Hodges reached back for some vintage performances. Austin even got former All-Star Carl Furillo to accept a bench role and inserted Wally Moon, which would pay enormous dividends.
Wally Moon, he took advantage of that screen in left field like nobody else. Anytime he hit that screen off the wall or over the wall, they called it a moonshot.
The Dodgers played far better than they had the season before, but they still could not seem to find the spark they needed to reach the top of the standings. Ultimately, a shortstop named Maury Wills and a pitcher named Larry Sherry would push them into contention. Both players had been languishing in the minors and had forged a special bond.
I was going so bad, and I just made a mistake, made an error in the opposition running all over the bases. And I actually left the field when the clubhouse was ripping my uniform off. I was quitting. And Larry Sherry happened to see me and came in and grabbed me, pinned me up against the wall, and said, "You can't do that. I won't let you do it." Larry Sherry saved my career.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way to Arcia. Misses for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0 swung on, popped up high, can of corn over towards third base foul territory. Making the catch is Magical. He actually ends up back in the field of play, 1 down. Braves 8, Cubs 1. 1 down. And here comes Money Mike. Righty lefty, the first pitch on the way from JC is down and away for a ball. It's 1-0. JC being asked to eat some innings here with the Cubs now trailing 8-1. He's at 28 on the night. The 1-0, high and inside. Ball 2, 2-0. So a 2-0 count. Pitch to Harris is taken all the way for a strike, 2-1. On deck would be Duvall and then Short. If you're just joining us, the 2-1 pitch. Outside wide ball, 3-1. The scoring got started in the third inning with a 2-run home run by Duvall with Harris on first after a single. 3-1 pitch, swung on. That ball is lifted into left center field. That's going to get down where the green grass grows. Here comes Michael Harris at second. He's wheeling around first, heading to second, and here he comes. He'll stop at second with the lead off, a 1-out double. Harris doing the San Diego Padres celebration. So that'll bring Adam Duvall to the plate. Duvall 1 for 2 with the home run back in the third. Righty the pitch. Right there for a strike. 93 on the intercut. It's 0-1. Braves took a 2-0 lead in the third. The Cubs got a run back in the sixth, their only hit of the night. The 0-1. Swung on, pops it up. Got around on that one. Dansby Swanson will catch it in shallow left field, 2 away. And then the scoring began. The Braves after Short reached on a bunt single after bringing home Arcia on a squeeze play, Ozzie Albies flew out to left to score Duvall. That made it 4-1. First pitch on the way to Short is inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Marcell Ozuna would hit a 3-run jack into left center, and Olsen would follow that up with a home run to right. The 1-0. Inside, 2-0. So a 2-0 count. Short 1 for 3 with that RBI and the bunt single. The 2-0 pitch. Right there down the pipe, 2-1. As good as he is at that bunt single, I don't know why he doesn't do that more with his speed. The 2-1. Swing and knocks that back into the crowd, evens up the count, 2-2. Michael Harris stands on second. Braves lead at 8-1. The pitch from JC swung on, grounded hard over to third. That is going to go off the glove of the third baseman, Magical. I would expect that was going to be chalked up as an error, but regardless, we got runners on the corners, 2 outs, and the inning continues. And with that inning continues, here comes the top of the order. Chance to really blow this one wide open. Braves already lead 8-1. Here comes Ronald Acuna Jr. This would be a good time for him to get off the schneid. First pitch on the way to Acuna, swung on and slapped back foul up against the screen. It's 0-1. Acuna just missed connecting that one. See him smelling the wood on that bat burn. The 0-1. Sweeper right inside for a strike. It's now 0-2. So an 0-2 count. As far back as he's standing off the plate, you'd kind of think that would have been one he would have taken a whiff at. They're set up outside wide now, the 0-2. Whoa, that ball gets away. That ball kicks about 7 different directions like a pinball. Here comes Michael Harris a second. It's 9-1 your Atlanta Braves. Zach Short will head on up to second base. He's been wild. That ball shot back. It was wide of the left-hander's batter's box. It was so wide off the plate. And then it ricocheted. The 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Acuña struggles continue, but your Atlanta Braves, 9, Cubs, 1. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning.
Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It is not. Yeah, there's an old guy with a beard. There's little halflings that run around with sticks and pretend to be magicians. You got one guy that's got a ring and wait, the ring makes them disappear, but the other one's got a blanket. Wait, and they run around in the woods and there's a magical creature that can make them fly. It's not the It's the same thing. How is it not the same thing? Ah!
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Ed's Almost Good Beer. Remember, Ed's Almost Good Beer was brewed in God's country when God wasn't looking.
Oh, wow, I'm pretty sure that's going to be there it is. Another flag on the play.
Multiple flags on the play. Holding. Offense number 97. That penalty was declined. Touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense number 22. Penalty will be applied to the kickoff.
This is going to be one of the strangest calls.
That son of a... You playing against Dick this week?
Yeah.
Could be worse, man. When I played against him, he ejected all my players.
Black
Armchair.
A room in right center. If he hits one there, we can dance in the streets. The 2-1. Swung line drive left field. 1 run is in. Here comes Green. Here's the throw to the plate. He is safe. Braves win. Braves win.
The fundamental reason for the popularity of the game is the fact that it is a national safety valve. A young, ambitious, and growing nation needs to let off steam. Baseball serves the same purpose as a revolution in Central America or a thunderstorm on a hot day. A tonic, an exercise, baseball is second only to death as a leveler. So long as it remains our national game, America will abide no monarchy, and anarchy will be too slow.
9 runs, 9 hits. No errors for the Braves. 1 run, 1 hit, and 1 error for the Cubs. Max Fried goes back to work. His 83rd pitch of the night is a curveball in the dirt. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Wisdom, the number 5 hitter. Dansby and Happ do up. The pitch. Swung on, pops it up. High in the sky. Can of corn. Who wants it? Arcia calling everybody off, 1 away. I think Max wanted it, but Arcia called him off. It's kind of a wry grin on his face as he looks back to Darno. Darno said something to him. So 1 down. Lefty, righty, here comes Dansby Swanson. The first pitch on the way to Dansby is 94-mile-an-hour fastball inside, 1-0. The 1-0. Fried comes set, lets her go. Swing and fouls it back. It's 1-1. So assuming weather, and as right now it's supposed to be a good day tomorrow. Braves will play 220. We'll bring you pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. It'll be Darius Vines on the bump for Atlanta. The 1-1 to Swanson. Curveball swung on, grounded over to third, backhanded by Short, fires it across the infield, tries to make the throw, it gets away. Swanson will head on down to second base. Most likely an infield single and then an E5. I don't hate that from short. The game's 9-1. You're trying to make a play to. I'll tell you what, if Olson's able to make that stretch and catch, it just would have gotten Swanson by, a half step. So runner on second, one out. The pitch, swing, and that ball's rifled into right field. That's down for a base hit. Acuna's got it. He'll flip it into the infield. Dansby Swanson playing station to station, trailing 9-1, and runners on the corners, one out. So runners on the corners, one out. Max Fried at 88 pitches. Hoping for a complete game, but this may end up being the end of the road for him. See if he can get through this inning. First pitch on the way to Madrigal is swung on and foul back out of play. It's 0-1. If he gets a quick double play here, we may get a complete game. Hit the out-of-town scoreboard real quick. The Giants have come back and tied the game in Pittsburgh. They're in the bottom of the ninth. It's 5-5. Jared Jones was on the bump tonight for Pittsburgh. Pretty good outing. The 0-1 gets away 1-1. So the good news there, assuming weather in Pittsburgh tomorrow, Paul Skeens is set to pitch tomorrow for the Pirates. So we will dodge both Jones and Skeens when we head to Pittsburgh on Friday. By far their two best pitchers. The 1-1 from Max. Swung on, curveball, chopped back foul. It's 1-2. And normally I'd be excited to see them throw and come on, let's see what we can do against them. The way our pitching, our hitters have been, we need some layups. We need some good old-fashioned batting practice. 1-2 from Fried. Kicks and fires. Swung on. Looks like he went around, and Darnold is taking a sweet time to get the ball. If he jumps out there and gets it, did the ball go off his bat? Okay, they're saying it went off his bat now. So everyone will return back to their position. The way it originally, I guess they're saying it hit his bat, but Madrigal, I don't know. If it did, you got me. It looked like it was a strike 3, unless they're saying he didn't go around. And they're saying he didn't go around. That's why he's going back to the bag. That is what they're saying now. So 9-2 your score. It was not a foul tip. It was a called ball. Looked like he went around. Pitch on the way from Fried is right there for a strike to Amaya. It's 0-1. Out-of-town scoreboard looks like this. Yankees over the Mariners 5-3 in the 8th. Blue Jays 9-2 over the White Sox in the 8th. The 0-1 swung on, grounded over towards first. Matt Olson will step on the bag, and that'll end the inning. Cubs put one on, but Max Fried has pitched himself a game. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
When somebody asks me if I'm having a good day, I just got to ask myself 3 questions, brother. 1, am I alive? I usually am. 2, am I in the land of the free? I usually am, baby. And 3, do I feel the smiling spirit of George Washington gazing down upon me from the great pearly land of the free in the sky? Brother, there ain't a moment that goes by that I don't feel that. And when I add up that math, makes me realize there are no bad days in the land of the free, baby.
I have a bunch of jokes about unemployed people, but unfortunately, none of them seem to work.
If you're on your phone and your wife asks you if you're texting one of your floozies, say yes. Then send her a text that says, "What's up?" After she backtalks, say, "See, this is why you're not my main girl."
The two friends were called up in mid-season and began contributing right away. Sherry as the team's top reliever and Wills as its new spark plug.
He started getting hits. He hit the balls up the middle, ground balls to the left side. Every now and then a line drive. I said, how wonderful. I mean, this guy had struggled all this time, and now he's got that hitting down right.
Covered a lot of ground at shortstop. I mean, go to his left, go deep in the hole a lot. He can run like a deer.
The new Dodger shortstop, Wills, a lifesaver for the Dodgers.
With his speed, he created a different atmosphere when he got on base. He changed our whole club.
Wills beat opposing teams with his legs, and Sherry beat them with his iron will.
Anytime you talk to Larry, don't worry about it. I can take care of it. Larry had determination. Larry had a belly full of guts. Larry was out there to beat you.
And he had a slider, hit that outside corner, and you swung the ball, wasn't there anymore.
He would come in and just shut the other team down in crucial moments.
What's up, Braves country? Looking forward to a great Atlanta Braves 2024 season. See y'all at the ballpark. Look up.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Porter Hodge is coming on, the right-hander, to finish this off. Righty-lefty as Ozzie Albies leads us off. First pitch from Hodge is a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, straight smoke. Swing and a miss, it's 0-1. The 0-1 swung on and missed again, it's 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Off the plate, wide, four-seam fastball caught, looking, strike three. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, Ozzie Albies. Porter Hodge is bringing straight gas. Glad we're seeing him up 9-2. This will bring Marcell Ozuna to the plate. First pitch to Ozuna, swing and a miss, 96 up top. It's 0-1. So the poll we put up has everyone hoping it's A.J. Smith-Shawver as the 0-1 swing and a miss up top again, 0-2. I guess if you throw that hard and with that much purpose, you don't need a second pitch. He's throwing four-seam after four-seam, all of them coming in the mid to high 90s. The 0-2, caught, looking, strike three. 96 on the outer edge, 2 away. On this date in 1869, as we turn back time one last time, with the team routing the Mets 12-0, the Atlanta Braves skipper Loom Harris elects to rest Hank Aaron, making Mike Lum the only major leaguer to pinch hit for Hammer and Hank in his entire career. First pitch to Matt Olson is a swing and a miss strike. It's 0-1. Coming off the bench, the 23-year-old delivers a 2-run double to right field in the 7th inning at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. The 0-1. Outside high and wide, 1-1. The first non-strike by Hodge. The 1-1 swing and fouls it back out of play. 1-2. So a 1-2 count. Atlanta Braves 9, Chicago Cubs 2. Top of the 9th, the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. Good Lord, he struck out the side. Why is this kid not pitching in high leverage situations? We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
If anyone sees me in a bathing suit this summer, mind your business. I like to eat.
So is cheesecake a cake or a pie?
It's the cheesecake. It's cheesecake.
Obviously, it's a pie. That's why they call it cheesecake, because it's a pie.
Ain't none of them words in that sentence match none of the other ones.
The funny part is, it's neither a cake or a pie. It's a freaking tart.
It is not a tart.
It is a tart.
Not a tart. Crumbled or crust or something that's created into a bowl, and then the filling goes in the top. But not all cheesecakes are made like that.
I've seen the women you date. You would definitely be an expert on what's
All
crusty.
the cheese.
Well, then what is a freaking hot dog?
A hot dog is a taco.
No!
No.
No, it's no. A hot dog
I
is a
rebuke
sandwich.
that.
That
If
is
there
a
is
sandwich.
bread on 3 sides. If you imagine a cube, so 6 total sides. If there's bread on 3 sides, it's a taco.
Ooh, I love
Unless
Philly
the bread is
cheesesteaks.
completely taken apart. If it's 2 pieces of bread, then it's a sandwich.
Okay, hold
Did you
on.
call a Philly cheesesteak a taco?
Hold on, I got.
If
Okay,
the bread
wait.
is still together, like a hoagie, where it's got a hinge on it like they do at Subway, those are tacos.
I don't like this. I don't. No.
Okay, so
No.
if I split my hot dog bun all the way down on that backside right there, and then I put the bread on top of the bread, that makes it a sandwich.
Yes.
But if I don't split the bread, the is a taco.
Yes. I don't make the rules, I just make them up as I go along.
Armchair.
There's a lot of wonderful stillness in baseball that I love. Many seconds of stillness. When the pitcher has got the sign, the batter is crouched, the ball players all lean forward with their hands on their knees, and then very shortly the ball is delivered. But in that tiny period when the pitch and the fever of the crowd is tangible, there's a moment of absolute stillness that I treasure.
Got another country club member. Charlie gifting it to, I believe, Gary. Welcome back to the country club. Max Fried's going to go out there and try to complete his complete game. First pitch on the way to Vasquez, who's in for Horner. It's a swing and a miss strike. It's 0-1. Saw the comment from I believe it was Jillian saying she didn't want to see AJ burned out like Elder. One thing we do know, we're getting someone from the farm to pitch on Friday. They just won't announce it till after the game on Thursday. The 1-1. Swing and a miss over the top. It's 1-2. Haven't seen how it played out yet. Going to take a look tonight, but Vines will most likely pitch tomorrow. Is the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. One away here in the 9th. Max Fried's at 98 pitches. 9 strikeouts for Mad Max. How about that? 9 strikeouts. The first pitch on the way to Seiya Suzuki is down and away for a ball. It's 1-0. So because of the double header on Monday where we use both guys from our rotation, because of the 1-0, Chopper back out in front of the mound. Darnold's got it, flips it over to first. Was it fair? He is out. If it is, it is fair, and we're just 1 out away from getting the W. But because of the rain out on Saturday and we had the doubleheader on Monday, Sale and Lopez pitched on that day. So you've got an empty spot on what would have been Thursday, but Vines taking Elder's place is pitching then. Bellinger comes to the plate, 0 for 3 with 2 groundouts and a strikeout. So essentially is the 0-1 off the plate wide, it's 1-1. Whoever pitches on Friday is probably up for a second time through the rotation because Vines most likely will be sent down as the 1-1 off the edge wide, 2-1. Vines most likely will be sent down after his start tomorrow, no matter how good or how bad he is. And at that point, you can't bring him up for 10 days. The 2-1 inside, sinker almost gets him, ball 3-1. So a 3-1 count, Fried at 104 pitches. You'd like to get him in and out of this game. You don't want to wear him out, but you don't want to waste a pitcher. The 3-1 from Fried. Swing and lifted high into left field. Coming in, making the catch is Adam Duvall. And that'll end the game. 3 up, 3 down in the ninth, and how about that? Braves win. Braves win. Your Atlanta Braves win. Whiskey for my men, beer for my horses. 9-2 your score. We'll do a quick post-game show when we come back in just a flash. We're coming back, Braves country.
You're in Braves country.
Welcome in, Braves country. There's the number on your screen. We'll put the box score back up. Get a better look at it here in 1 second. Braves win it 9-2. Anybody that wants to call in, the number to call, if you're listening on radio, 678-960-9700. 678-960-9700. Atlanta Braves 9-2. They get the win. They go to 28-18 on the year. And the Cubs fall to 27-23. And look, I mean, there's only one guy that realistic. I mean, I guess you can make an argument for Ozuna. You can make an argument for a couple of guys, but the game ball's got to go to Max Fried. Max Fried was unbelievable tonight. And he was out there dealing. Max Fried goes to 4-2. Really not indicative of how good he's been. He's got a 3.38 ERA now, but he has been something special these last few outings. And he goes out tonight and fires 9 innings, which is huge considering we're not going to have a day off until June 3rd. Gives up just 3 hits, 2 runs. 2 of those hits and 1 of those runs was in garbage time. 9 strikeouts. Keeps the ball in the yard in a night where the wind was blowing out in Wrigley. And Atlanta wins this one, going away 9-2. And it's night. I'm telling you right now, Braves country, I don't know about y'all, but I feel a little shell-shocked. Because, I mean, we were starting to start getting in the dumps about how bad this team has been playing. And you know the talent's there. You're not dumb. You're not going, oh, we got to tear the team apart. We got to do no. You know the talent's there. But until you start seeing them play as well as they did tonight, you really start getting concerned. And all last year, because the offense was so good, it didn't matter what the stakes were, what the score was. You always felt like we're going to come back. We're going to make a run. We're going to score. We're going to be okay. And this year, the pitching's been outstanding, top to bottom, all in all. I know not everybody's been perfect, but all in all, you can't complain. Good bullpen, good starting pitching, and tonight put it all together. You had Max Fried on the bump. You get Max going this way. You get Lopez and Sale, who have been pitching phenomenal. Charlie Morton has been pitching well. I know some people get down on Charlie Morton. You got to look at the big picture with Charlie Morton. He's eating innings. He's very affordable. Some people think that 20 is a high number. It's not for today's starting pitching. It really isn't. He's eating innings. He's keeping the ball in the yard. He's striking guys out. He's giving you an opportunity. We just haven't been scoring runs. He's got an ERA well south of 3. It's well south of 4. He's in the mid 3s right now. You can't ask anything more out of a starting pitcher in today's climate of the ball flying everywhere. And we've got 4 really good starting pitchers. See who we got here coming in. 804 area code. Welcome to Braves Country Radio. Who are we talking to?
Talking to Johnny Atkins.
Hey, Johnny, what can we do for you?
I wouldn't mind talking a little bit. Braves talk.
What you got for us tonight?
Well, we've been going through some rough times, but I think we played tonight like we're capable of playing.
Absolutely. This is what we came to expect of the Braves the last few years. And let's be honest, we've been a little spoiled, right?
Yes, we have.
And I will say something else that I don't think a lot of folks pay attention to. I'm not going to say that they're oblivious to it, but maybe we don't pay attention to it on a daily basis. The Braves have played a tough schedule, and they've faced some really good starting pitching. They have not.
Yes,
they've
been on the road quite a bit.
Yes,
and teams like the Phillies, it seems like they're always at freaking home. I don't want to lose my language here, but
I know
it just seems like these guys are always playing some bums at home.
Every time I look
and
up,
I can't make up any excuses for Texas, but they really, it didn't bother to show up at all. So I think our best chance is to play the best we can when it comes time to play. So if we're still around, we don't let ourselves get 10 or 15 games behind. But if we're still in it when we get into August and September, we'll play them plenty of baseball. And, we got to hope that somebody eventually starts beating those guys. I'm not saying they're bad. They're obviously a pretty good team.
Oh, yeah.
But I've seen teams get way up on themselves, and then it just seems like it bores them after a while. I'd rather be a team coming from behind than a team that's led, from the beginning. And the Braves, we started off pretty strong, and then we've had a lot of injuries. And Matt Riley not being at third, that's a big, big loss.
It really is.
We need him back, and we need the pitching to pitch like it did tonight. And, I still think the Braves should be looking for an extra arm. I just feel that,
Yeah, I don't dismiss that, because one of the big picture with me, with the fact that they're probably going to try to go out and add an arm at the deadline. Of course, the magic thing that we're going to be looking at is how much can they bring in money wise and not affect the luxury tax, along with hurting your draft picks. But they at least need to bring in a guy that can eat some innings down the back half of the stretch. Because if we could go to the postseason right now with a healthy Chris Sale, Max Fried, Ronaldo Lopez, and the way Charlie Morton's been pitching, he's a fine number 4, right? But
I think he's as good a 4 as there is in the league.
Exactly.
When he's on,
right,
you can't hit him.
Right. And so if you look at that, what we need is some insurance to make sure those guys get there, and that we've got guys that can come up and pitch in the back half. Now, what the biggest question that I have with this is, are they going to look external or internal? Because they've got some really good young starting pitching in the minor leagues that if they continue to produce, a lot of folks have not paid attention to him, but Schwellenbach has been very good down on the farm, and he's an older prospect. He's 24 years old. They drafted him.
I heard his name mentioned before.
Yeah.
So I'm going to trust you on that one. I don't know a lot about the kid, but
he come from
with a name like
Nebraska.
that, you better be good.
Yeah, he's from Nebraska, and when he first started as an overall prospect,
I don't have anything against the Cornhuskers. I'm an old Nebraska.
Yeah,
from this, I'm an old guy, so I'm back from the '70s when they were winning championships and stuff. I remember the Cornhuskers. They were a formidable foe, and I don't want to waste a lot of your time or anything.
No,
but
you're
I
fine.
just thought I'd give old Mac a call. They've got all these 3D things going on and all this other stuff, but he calls the game like most people like to hear it, just as it is. You don't have to add on a lot. You want to hear the game, and I think he's gotten better and better. And so I'm kind of hooked on him now. And so I thought I'd give you a call just to let you know, hey, I was raised listening to the Braves back when they were terrible, when they go out to LA and never win a game and stuff. I was 14, 13 years old. I'm in my 70s now.
Uh-huh.
So I used to have a little radio, and I lived in Alabama for years while my dad was getting his master's degree at Harvard.
Okay.
And I'd sneak and turn on my little transistor radio and listen to Braves. Milo Hamilton, if you remember him, he was an excellent announcer. And, I love listening to Braves baseball. That's where I got hooked on him.
He was just before my time. I grew up.
Then I went to California. And, of course, out there, no one's even heard of Atlanta hardly.
Right.
But I was raised in the South. And Columbus was actually a disc jockey for a while. So all that's gone now.
Yeah.
But there's some things we hang on to. And one is our Atlanta Braves. And so I will be a devoted listener. And
I appreciate that.
From here on. And like I say, I was a disc jockey at one time. So anytime he wants to talk baseball and you get me through, I know a lot about baseball.
All right. Well, I
American and National League, but I'm a Braves guy. That's it.
Is there any other kind of guy to be, right? it's the Braves, baby.
Not to me.
I know.
Not to me. And it's good to speak to someone that feels like I do. Whether I get on TV or not, doesn't matter to me. I just called to let you guys know I've enjoyed Mac, and I know all the other crap that's going around, but I listen to Mac. And it's just like in the old days when you could use your imagination, when you were listening to Milo Hamilton. With Mac, you're looking at a guy, and he knows Braves baseball. And I think I know everything about Braves baseball. But you just mentioned the name of a kid in the minor leagues. We need that help, and hopefully he matures quickly, and we can trust him and give him a shot.
Yeah, I would.
They're going to pitch a guy tomorrow named Vines. He hasn't done a bad job for Atlanta.
No,
we never give him any runs to work with. If we can turn around and give the guy the kind of night we gave Max tonight, we're going to be fine, in good shape.
Honestly, Darius Vines does what he's supposed to do. He is a guy that's never going to be a top prospect, but he normally goes out and gets you some innings and keeps you in the game. And that's all you can ask for a number 5 starter, especially a guy that's not going to consistently be in the rotation.
Correct.
Honestly,
he's about as good. I thought he's pitched about as good as you could expect.
Yeah, honestly, top to bottom, Elder hasn't been a disaster. He's just not. He doesn't have the put away pitches, and in today's baseball, that's what they look for. They look for a guy who can strike you out.
Yeah, Vine's just a little more crafty, and mixes that fastball in, even though he doesn't have a real, nothing 97, 98, but he's got some good 92 with movement. And if your ball's moving, no matter what pitch you're throwing, you're confusing the hitter. That's why he keeps them pretty honest.
I'll tell you what impressed me the most about Darius Vines is when he makes his debut last year against Colorado in Coors Field. The number one thing he did, he kept the ball in in the stadium. And
Yes.
and he will, like you said, with movement, he is all about you. You know, he's very similar to Bryce Elder's game, where he's not trying to strike you out, he's trying to get you to hit ground balls. And
That's correct.
I'm fine with Vines pitching tomorrow. I know it's going to be a crapshoot, but you know what? The offense has to do their job every once in a while, and our bullpen's fully rested. So if he can just get us to the 5th inning, we're going to be okay. And then Friday is going to be the most interesting thing because
I would say this to you. I don't think our bullpen's been quite up to snuff this year. I think Minter could have been better. Matlock could have been better, but these are guys that usually show up in the hotter, longer into the summer. Those are the type of pitchers those guys are. So
yeah, and the
they
thing
may
about
not be
Minter,
showing their stuff now, but later on you'll be glad you got them.
yeah, because the thing about
Everybody
Minter,
needs a lefty that can throw 96, 97 miles an hour. And when Minter's in his best shape, I've seen him touch 98 a few times. So,
Minter has been
he's not
lights
really
out.
showing what he can do.
Minter has been lights out when he's not been put in the 9th inning closing role.
He
Outside
was
of that,
part of us winning a championship, no doubt about it.
I mean, Minter this year has a 1.63 ERA when he's not in the 9th inning. And the 9th inning's been a disaster. We know that. But quit putting him in the 9th inning.
Yeah, they brought him. I remember the one game they brought him in, and we were ahead by 1 run, and he gave up a 2-run jack,
right,
which lost the game. So, those things stick with you.
Mm-hmm.
But you've also got to see what he's done for you, too. So, nothing's for sure in life, and baseball is not for sure.
Right.
So anything can happen in it.
And
but I wouldn't trade if you went position to position. I wouldn't trade any Brave for any other player from another team.
No, I'll tell you what. I'll take our roster in October and take our chances. If we're healthy and we're swinging the bat well, yeah. If we're swinging the bat well in October, and it may not be the end of the world that we don't win the division this year because you don't have that long layoff where your bats get cold. And maybe for once it'll play. I don't love playing in the first round because you're talking about a 3-game series, and all it takes is to run into one really good starting pitcher, and it's all over, right?
That's correct.
But
correct.
At the same token, the teams that have made it from the National League since they went to this system have all been wild card teams, and you've had and last year. The Astros, though they didn't get the wild card, they played to the very last day because they were trying to win the division against Texas. And so Texas was a wild card. Astros were, and those two ended up meeting in the championship in the AL. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact they were playing meaningful games down the stretch.
I agree with you.
Well, it was great talking. What's your first name again? I'm sorry.
Johnny,
it was great talking to you. Got anything else?
That's about it, man.
All right, brother.
I'm so happy that we got a guy that pitched 9 innings. You don't see that much anymore.
You don't.
In fact, you almost never see it.
You don't at all. It's amazing.
I thought at the end he was pitching just as good as he was when he started.
I mean, you remember back when Maddox and Glavine and all them were pitching, you expected them to go 9 or at least 7
Maddox,
or 8.
Glavine, Smoltz, I've been a Braves fan forever, so you're never going to mention somebody I've never heard of.
Right. Yeah.
We can go back to the 80s when we had Dale Murphy, Bob Horner.
I go back to early 80s. I was my first real season that I can say that I watched top to bottom was 82. So that's how far back I go. As far as before that, I kind of knew.
You go back.
I kind of knew they existed.
A ways in, and that's good. You're a little younger than me, but I go back to the mid to late 60s, and that's when I'd sneak my transistor radio and listen to Braves baseball.
So they came over.
And Milo Hamilton was a big reason I did that. He was just a great announcer.
Gotcha.
Anyway, nice talking to you tonight.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you calling in. Call back anytime.
I will. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
You too.
If anybody else wants to call, the number to call is 678-960-9700. 678-960-9700. If not, we'll start to wind this down. Braves win 9-2. And if you're just joining us, just kind of scrolling around, wanting to know what's going on, Max Fried pitched a complete game. He was phenomenal. He was lights out. He had a perfect game going through till the 6th inning. Who do we got here tonight?
Hey, it's Brian.
Hey, Brian from Ohio. What you doing, Brian?
Yep, you got it. Hey, well, first off, I wanted to send out a message to all of your viewers. I hope they can. I'm usually a pretty positive type person, and I hope they can forgive my 3-week rant because I've been pretty high and low for most of the 3 weeks, and
I was starting to get PTSD.
So one thing after another.
I was starting to get PTSD from this. And it's funny because we're acting like this team's been on a 30-game losing streak, right? This team is 27-18. We got a 600 winning percentage, right? I think the big one, honest engine, the big one was getting the gut punch and getting swept in LA. And you felt like, ugh. And you never felt like that was going to happen. Especially because we came so close to winning the first game, and then Elder got smoked, and Free didn't pitch very well in the third game.
Right. Well, and then I have a bunch of questions for you. How in the world do we kick 3 field goals tonight and can't score a run like pretty much just about every other night? You know what I'm saying?
Well, first of all, I went over this in the pregame show with Justin Steele. So he was top. I think he came in actually second or maybe third. It was him, Strider, and then Snell that won the Cy Young last year in the National League. He's still coming back because he's only been off the IL for a few starts, and he's pitching well to the point where you don't see him put a lot of ducks on the pond, right? So his whip is it's 1-2-1. You like it a little lower, but it's not terrible. But he's giving up a lot of home runs, and he's giving up. Not to mention, I mentioned the home runs, but I didn't mention the fact he's not giving up extra base hits. So when he's not hitting his spots, the ball's getting smoked. He's getting into the gap. He's letting the wind was blowing out tonight, and the Braves took advantage of it. But it is frustrating.
Hopefully the wind can blow out more than just tonight.
It is frustrating when you see. The wind was really blowing out last night. It's amazing that we ended up with such a low-scoring extra innings game. Because the over-under, I mentioned this during the cast yesterday, the over-under in that game straight up was 11.5. It's never that high unless you're in Colorado. And you could actually get it as high as 13.5 if you wanted to take the under. You never see it that high. That's how strong that wind was blowing. But
I wanted to ask you another question. Well, actually, I wanted to ask you a question. Have you ever seen a time where it feels like this last 3 weeks, it's been one thing after another? Well, one day it's the starting pitching. The next day it's the relieving pitching. The next day it's hitting. The next day it's defense. You know what I'm saying? It's like every day is like something different.
Yeah,
for like 3 weeks, it seems like it.
So I feel like that they're just not playing well together. But one of the things that our last caller brought up, and I do think this has a lot to do with it. You look at our schedule, not just the fact that we've been playing some good teams, but the fact that we have not been home a whole hell of a lot. Now that changes in the second half of the season. I've been looking at that schedule. We've got a very favorable schedule going into August, into the month of September. And it gets a little more favorable when we hit July. But we really did take on some of the tougher. I mean, you think about some of the road series we've already had where we go to Seattle, they've got really good pitching. I don't think people realize that, but they've got really good pitching. We went to the Dodgers. We're up there in Chicago playing the Cubs. The Cubs are not a bad team at all. The Cubs are 27-22?
Right.
I mean, that's nothing to laugh about. Philly is playing out of their mind, and that's why it's jumping out of us, because they've played a very weak schedule. But I'm not going to take that away from Philly. Because
they're winning the games they should win.
Exactly. Right. They're doing what you're supposed to do, which is beat up on the bums. Well, remember, we took 2 of 3 in Philly. So, I'm not sold on, and we don't have Murphy. We haven't had Riley for over a week. Strider obviously is not a part of this year's team, so you can't even talk about him anymore. He's just not a part of the team. But we thought we were going to have Strider going into the year.
Yeah.
And on top of that, Matzik is coming off that injury. He looked terrible. That's why they sent him down on that ghost IL. Right?
Right.
They're going to send him down there. He's going to get right. I'm not worried about Matzik long term. I think Matzik will do what he normally did. Even when he was healthy, he normally hit his stride in July and August, and then away we go. So I'm not worried about Matzik necessarily, but we have.
Well, another thing is, like, I've been flipping out for like the last 3 weeks, and we're only 6.5 games back at Philly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's not like we're like down where all the rest of our division is. We're double the win total of pretty much just about everybody else in our division.
Right.
Crazy.
And we're actually now just 6 back after winning tonight. So
okay, yeah.
But I mean, the problem is,
I
swear it's been 3.5 months since the Phillies have lost a game. Every time I look up, I was like, they're not just winning; they're up like 9-2. And like, what is going on here? Like, nobody, like, they don't ever have a game where they just kind of mail it in.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you, when do they start having their tough schedule come? Like, please come around sooner or later.
Well, it starts getting tougher here so they're playing the Rangers right now. You'd like the Rangers. So even with them playing the Rangers, they still have not played a team that is currently sporting a winning record except for the Atlanta Braves. Now, they were 500 when they went into Philadelphia. So some of that you got to tip the cap to Philly. Philly put them under 500, but still, this is not a Texas team that has been playing that great so far.
This isn't last year's Texas team, you're saying?
No, yeah. Well, I mean, they're still missing Scherzer. DeGrom's not going to come back. If he does come back, he's not coming back till like August. And they've got a couple of other injuries, both on offense and pitching. I don't even know if Texas makes the playoffs, but if they do, it's going to be because they're going to make a run at the end. But if you're looking at what does their schedule look like coming up in the near future, they go out to Colorado. Of course they do. Well, why wouldn't they be playing the Rockies?
Jeez.
But that could hurt their bullpen, right? Because it's warm out in Colorado now, so you never know. They go to San Francisco. I mean, San Francisco, they get wins, but they scratch them across like 3-2, right?
Yeah, they're small ball.
They come home, they play St. Louis, but they do play the Brewers June 3rd. And then they go to the Mets.
Okay.
Then they play at the Red Sox, at the Orioles. That's a little tough. They'll host San Diego. They play Arizona. They got some tough games coming up in June. July is what I've been pointing to. There is a stretch in July. July 2nd, they go to Chicago to play the Cubs. They come to Atlanta for 3. And then they come home and they face the Dodgers for 3. That's a tough 10-game stretch. They've got another stretch down the road where they play the Yankees. This is all back-to-back. They play the Guardians. Oh, wait a minute. The Twins, the Guardians, the Yankees, the Mariners, the Dodgers on the road, Arizona on the road, and about a week later, they're at Atlanta and at Kansas City, who's actually playing pretty good baseball this year. So they've got tougher games.
Now you're speaking the good news, Mac.
Yeah, they got tougher games, but it's really, I mean, Honest Engine, look at a little bit in June, but start looking at July and August. They've got some tough games coming up. But the key is going to be us when we go and play teams that are beatable, like playing Pittsburgh without their 2 aces. We need to win those games.
We need to beat them.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't go in there and go, well, we got 1 to 3. That's not terrible. And you hear all that nonsense you hear on the national, because all the the national Braves channels and everything like that. They'll sit there and try to spin it to you and go, well, the key is not to get swept. No, if we go into Pittsburgh with not facing
we
Skeens,
expect a sweep.
yeah, not facing Skeens, not facing Jared Jones. I expect to win the series. I never expect a sweep. That's a little ridiculous. I'll take a sweep, but you can't go in like remember last year when on Memorial Day weekend we go out to Oakland and lose the series. You're like, dude, this is a terrible.
Geez.
So they're gonna have to if you're gonna. My biggest question will be, will they put the foot to the pedal? Because 2 years ago, we fell behind the Mets. Then we chased them down all summer. When we got to the end, they felt like they ran out of gas. Are you better off just going, we're going to play our best, but we know we're going to be in the playoffs. And if we're hitting all cylinders, we'll just let the chips fall where they may. And if we end up being a wild card team, all right, so be it.
Well, that was something I was going to also speak on too, as well. As far as like just real briefly, the Phillies relievers do not scare me one bit. They're not good. They're just not, in my opinion. But I mean, you can try to sway me, but I don't see it. And as far as like, I was going to say, would we rather be playing from behind and just get into the playoffs because we had that layoff and that didn't do us any good?
Right.
Is it better for us to be playing from behind? You know what I'm saying?
So if this was a video game, I'd say yeah.
Yeah.
But what concerns me is when you do go to a best 2 out of 3, the problem is whoever you face, if they go in and they have a good game 1, all of a sudden your backs are against the wall.
Right, you got to win the next 2.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. So right now, if it ended right now, I checked it the other day. I believe we'd be playing the Padres. Well, we saw the Padres weren't exactly a pushover.
Yeah, no kidding.
And so the only thing that I would say about wanting to win the division is you get the home field advantage. And we have not won in Philadelphia these last 2 years, and that concerns me. But
yeah, I guess that's true.
We also, what if we don't play Philadelphia till the NLCS? Then it's a best of 7, and a best of 7. I don't think there's any way Philly beats us in a best of 7. Philly's been getting out in front of us in a best of 5, and granted, there have been other factors, but they're beating us in a best of 5. They're not beating us in a best of 7.
Gotcha.
So as it stands right now, if we were to win, we would not play Philadelphia. We would end up playing, well, I don't know. It's too far out to project. We wouldn't necessarily be playing Philadelphia.
Yeah. Do you feel like eventually they're ever going to fix that whole playoff scenario where it's like not that long of a layover for?
I think they have to.
It's a disadvantage for the home team,
Yeah,
like
I think they have to. The biggest problem.
Won.
Yeah, the biggest problem is it all gets intertwined with the collective bargaining agreement. So the last CBA was signed for 5 years. I don't think it changes.
Right, so it won't be for another 5 years.
Well, it'll be another, counting this year, it'll be another 2 seasons.
Okay.
Well, it'll be 2 seasons plus this season, so 3 postseasons. And I just think it's terrible. I don't know why they agreed to it. The moment I saw it, I thought it was goofy. And
well, it doesn't make sense because it's like a disadvantage.
Right.
If you're the winningest team, you should automatically have an advantage. That's the reason why you're winning.
Yep.
You're winning to get that advantage.
Yeah, I've been saying all, and it's funny. Everyone scoffed at it and laughed at it. Let it happen to Philly this year and see what their reaction will be. They'll be like, "Oh, you got to change this. This is ridiculous." But
right, we haven't played in 2 weeks.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly. So I've been saying this for a while, but if I were to change it, I would say that last game of the season is Sunday. I say you take Monday off for travel, and Tuesday is a night game. Wednesday is a doubleheader. If you win the first game and you won the game on Tuesday, then the series is over. If not, then you play the doubleheader, and it's got to start by Thursday. The whole thing's got to start by Thursday.
And then it's a true disadvantage for the team that's lower end.
Yeah,
rather
last year
than
the
them
Atlanta
getting an
Braves.
advantage.
Yeah, last year the Atlanta Braves started on Saturday. They were off Monday through Friday, started on Saturday. That's ridiculous. Should be starting on Thursday.
Right.
So either A, you give a travel day after the regular season, or you give the travel day after the first round. So you play on Monday, right? And they can do it.
Yeah.
Hell, teams bounce around to city all the time. It can be done. But the reason why I've been saying that you put the doubleheader on the second day is that so that media that wants to go cover the game, they can easily get there by the second day. But
Well, they're already there, so it's
right,
not really
right. But I'm talking about all the writers and everything, because that's always been the pushback. That's always been the pushback. But nowadays, with the way it's set up, you pretty much know who's in the game. The games on Sunday end at 6:00 Eastern, so there's no reason why you can't get the game started on Monday night, 8:00 Eastern, and then have a doubleheader on Tuesday, have Wednesday for travel, and Thursday, let's go. And then that way it's about like the All-Star break, and it's not as bad.
Okay, and then a reaction to your question about whether we should go out or we should stay inside our own team. I think we should give our homegrown pitching a chance and see where it goes.
I don't think. Well, I'll make it short and quick. I don't think we're going to get what people want to get in a trade.
Right? Yeah.
I think what
No
people
kidding.
are thinking of when they think of a trade, they're thinking about some stud that we're going to go out and get, and he's going to be like a number one.
Yeah, we're going to get another
two.
Chris Sale.
Right. It's not going to happen. The Braves don't do that at the trading deadline. They do all their stuff in the offseason because Anthopoulos doesn't want to get raked over the coals for prospects. So whoever we bring in it's going to be like a Jake Odorizzi type. I hope we get a little bit something
just
better.
an innings eater. Yeah.
I hope we get something a little better.
500 win guy that's inning eater. Basically.
Yeah, give me a guy off of a non-contender that's fallen out of it, and he's their 3, but he could be our 5, right? I could take that. A guy's just going to eat innings, and hopefully it's a guy that could also in the playoffs could either in a pinch have to start because of injury, or B could be a long man in relief. But we're not going to go out like everybody.
Go ahead.
Everybody that I see on Twitter and all that junk. They all come up with these ideas, these nonsensical ideas, like we're going to go out and make some big trade, like we're going to go out and get a Justin Verlander. That's just not what the Braves do.
We got monopoly money.
Yeah, I mean, the Braves aren't going to do it. Oh, by the way, Verlander's probably going to be on the trading block because the Astros look like they're heading in the wrong direction, and he's in the final year of his deal.
I don't think I want Verlander anyways.
He's been pretty good, but the point is the Braves won't go get him. The Braves will go get someone who's much lower on the totem pole.
Right.
All right, brother, I got to jam out of here.
anything?
I appreciate you calling in. Anything else before we jam?
Yeah. Have you heard anything as far as Murphy and Riley goes? They're playing
Riley
for them to come back anytime in their future.
Riley swung off the tee today. Murphy played last night and is taking today off and is expected to play catch again tomorrow in AAA, and then designate hit on Friday, and then they're going to go from there. My guess would be we'll see him Monday when we return to Atlanta against Washington. And Riley,
well, I appreciate what you do.
Man,
Thanks,
Riley,
Matt.
My best guess is maybe this weekend, but it's to the point now. It's like, why didn't we make a move? Why didn't we put him on the IL? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Right.
All right, brother.
Well, thanks for what you do.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you calling in.
Bye.
See you next time.
Yep. Bye.
All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Appreciate everybody calling in and watching and smashing the like and subscribing. And all you country club members, we appreciate that more than you know. We will see you tomorrow, 2:20 first pitch. It's an early game. It's a day game. We'll come on the air for the pregame show around 1:45-ish. And the chat will come up. When we're doing this until it gets to a point to where, we can't do it. We're putting the chat up an hour before first pitch just so people want to say hi to each other and all that kind of stuff. If I'm in studio, it'll be up. Y'all have a great night, Braves country. Braves win 9-2, and Max Fried, oof, man, was he dealing. Have a good one.